Greetings and salutations, League of Legends fans and LOL esports fans. Welcome to the Next Level with Sodaron, for I am Sodaron, the wizard of LOL esports, here to take you to the next level. So thank you for joining me. Today I have planned for you the 2024 LEC Summer Playoffs Grand Final Fnatic vs G2. So I think it's more important to go back and look at the BDS series, but the way that my scheduling is this week, I'm kind of busy later on today and tomorrow, so I know most of you really can't wait to just digest your content and you want more and more, so I know that I've got to keep putting content out, so here we go again. I'm on my soapbox, I'm on my podium, I'm ready to beat the dead horse into the ground yet again. So here we are for another episode. So if you don't, people will think you're a dead channel. So I'm getting a little burned out from all the content and stuff I've been putting out here. So maybe I need a little bit of a break, or things are going to slow down here in another week or two. At least here the LEC is done. And I can't even begin to keep up with the LPL games. There's some that I was watching the other day, and I was finally, after watching the LEC playoffs, I'm a bit of a G2 fan. I like to go and cheer for them. I've really fell in love with the fans and the way the org runs. And I've really sat back in all the last couple years about just how active they are on social media and with the fans. So I've become kind of a G2 fan over the last couple years. Not so much in the perks days. I was really paying attention more to the LCK back then in the LPL, but I've followed G2 a lot more here the last couple years. So here we are. I watched these live, and it just makes me wonder too, did I fall for the hype of the fans and the nostalgia and things that were going on? So at least now we can go back and take an analytical look here on the Next Level with Sodaron. So one of the first things here, I was looking at a tweet that the GM of G2 put out here, Roman. He said 63 days, 32 scrim days. Also, my hand here, I'm not trying to be like Michael Jackson or Willy Wonka or anything, but cut my finger the last time, and it's like in a really bad spot where you hit keys and stuff, or it's really easy to hit it. It start bleeding again, so I've got it protected here today. Don't make fun of me. So Roman Begeerd, the GM of G2, says 63 days. So 63 days, that's what, 3 months, 32 scrim days, 14 game days, 6 days off, and a trip to Riyadh. It was intense. We gave it all. We got rewarded for it. They do have another trophy. Now we've got a picture with the Hulk. I guess it's supposed to look like Broken Blade turning into the Hulk with all 3 trophies. You can challenge the gameplay this weekend. Yes, we played far from perfect, but we played better than them. Them meaning, I guess, BDS and Fnatic. And that's what matters at the end of the day. A lot of learning from the last week of practice and stage games. Great resilience and team spirit from the players. The most fun part of the year is about to start. To battle. Of course, we are disappointed. We thought our efforts finally cracked the code, that it was our time to win it all, that it was doable, eliminating T1. And this is what we're trying to look at here on the Next Level with Sodaron, is we're wanting our Western teams, like in the LCS and the LEC, to be able to go and compete with the LPL teams and the LCK teams, because statistically and looking back through the years, they've not performed very well when it goes to getting these teams to a World Championship finals. So, yes, we had we had Fnatic there with Caps at one time. And we did have G2 Yeah, I had to go back and recall in my mind. It was G2 versus FPX, right? So we've had them there in the finals, but what does it take to beat one of these teams? So we've had them there in the finals twice. G2, I feel like, is our hope to winning worlds. If we're here in the Western world, the LEC or the LCS. And so I've talked about it on my stream before, but I did do work with GAM back in 2022 during the summer split and during Worlds, where GAM did take one game off Top Esports. And from behind the scenes type of thing, you start to see that I don't think logically that these teams can even compete with the top orgs like a Top Esports at the time or a T1 at the time. Just from what I know, like GAM arrived in New York City a week after T1. Riot brought all of the big teams in first. And so just logically thinking, that gives those teams a whole week to move in and get comfortable and scrim and get used to the food. Where GAM at the time looked like they had a bad performance, but Riot, like I said, I'm not putting Riot down, but they kind of favored the top orgs, and I know that they were there like a week ahead of time over GAM, for just an example. So just logically thinking, well, that's a really tough feat for GAM if they flew in and like the next day had to play. So there's some things that we can look at here and try to show fans why maybe they can't perform as well against the LCK teams and the LPL teams. And so that's why I'm looking here at their scrim data. I think this is really cool that G2's even showing some scrim data. I mean, it's not really data. It's just showing their wins and losses. And so I don't know what month this is. I'm guessing this month. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so you see, I think this means that they lost. So they lost to Fnatic, they lost to KC in scrims, they lost to Vitality in scrims. Unless it's the other way around. They won to KC after World Cup. They tied with Fnatic. It looks like they're playing 6 matches every day, which that's 6 hours with some breaks in between. And from what I was told in the LCS, they do 8-hour scrim blocks. And I know that GAM was supposed to do 8-hour blocks, but they would go much further than that, 10, 12 hours, 13 hours. And when they were scrimming, you couldn't really engage with any players or anything. If you're an analytical coach or an assistant coach, you were waiting till all that was over. And so it's very difficult. Just these players are so they don't have time at the end of the day to sleep. They got to wake up and do it all over again. So G2 had a day off there, a day off there, a day off there, a day off there. And so I pulled up some scrim data here from GAM. This is just like July. Just showing you how many games they play in the VCS versus what's going on here. So, and then I know GAM plays PCS teams and they were playing lower LPL teams as well. If you're good enough, you could maybe play some LPL teams. And if you were good enough, you could maybe play some. I was trying to kept heavily emphasizing play Korean challenger teams or Korean academy teams, because I think if you would beat them, then the LCK teams would maybe scrim against you. But they had a whole system, and you'd have to go in and beat their younger teams first, which that doesn't matter. That's still good practice, but they were kind of against that. And also Riot came in at the time. I think it was Riot, or there was some reason where the GAM players could play on the Korean server, but then Riot, somebody took their accounts away. So then they stopped being able to play and practice on the Korean solo queue. But I know they had accounts back in 2022. But just trying to look at like the time spent, right? Like 8 hours a day. G2 saying they do 6 games a day. Here's somewhere in my data, it was showing 6 games as well. Game 1, Game 2, Game 3, Game 4, Game 5, Game 6. But I know the scrims would go longer, so they maybe try some other things. If the team and players are willing, they put more time in. And so this was just a VCS team. And so that's what, like, you want to get good and be a pro player or grind or climb in solo queue. I mean, it's pretty logical. You get at least like 6 games in a day, every day, day in and day out, 10 games in a day. I mean, that's 10 hours. I look at each one game's going to take at least an hour by the time you play it. That's why I keep chiming and harping that you want to try to win games in 20, 25 minutes, because you want to get better. You're going to have to close the game out, and it's more about how many games you get in practice. So 6 games here every day in their scrim blocks, plus solo queue time. I know there's somewhere where it says the time, right? Like 22 minutes, 25 minutes. I was really big on trying to get GAM to close games out faster and faster and faster. So this is what I'm saying G2 needs to work on. To beat the LCK teams, to beat the LPL teams when they get to Worlds. I don't think they're magically going to have picks that counters certain meta picks that the LCK's playing in or the LPL's playing in. I mean, there's really a same meta that all the teams kind of agree they're in, at least in the Eastern world, the Asian world. 23-minute loss. 25-minute loss. So this was Team Cerebus. Look at that, a 16-minute win. I was really big. GAM, you got to close your games out faster and faster and faster and work on it. See, like, I'm kind of proud of this here. A 17-minute win, a 15-minute win. That's what it takes if you want to be the top team. Gen G can do it against the some of the top LCK teams right now on stage, not in a scrim. 36-minute win. Don't really like that. 20-minute win. That's one of my big things I was really preaching every time. You got to close the game out in 20 minutes. Against Team PSG. There's one that some of you know. 11-minute win. The one thing that's nice about this sheets is it gives you like the percentages, the analytical data. I think some of this data is way overrated, but it can give you the stuff like finish time. Their average finish time was 23 minutes. So if you're wanting to become a coach and get into this stuff, learn to do this sheet stuff. I'm sure this is what, I don't know if the like LEC teams do this or the LCK teams do this, but or I mean the LCS teams do this, but I assume so. I would say this is how the LPL teams operate. I'd say this is how LCK teams do stuff behind the scenes. So this is just a little view into the Asian world with scrim data, because scrim data is really hard to find. It's not going to be public. So this was in July. Or no. Yeah, July. Right? No, June. I'm sorry. This was in June. This is when like I started, like I think like in June and July and August. The VCS was later. And then Worlds. It was tough. It was hard to keep up with all of it. There's so many games going on and trying to fix mistakes. So anyways, today, so just looking at some stuff. Again, I've showed, like I did sheet stuff. I'm not like as proficient as I need to be with, or I mean, I did slide stuff. I'm not as proficient with the sheets. They want me to learn sheets, but I couldn't as fast enough. So slides are much easier to do for me. They do the slides as well. So Team Secret, I think this might have been like for the finals here or something. I tried to, like, I'm trying to show like other things I see in other games, because I was also watching LPL and LCK at the same time while watching all the VCS. And I know that some of the other coaches they don't even sit and watch whole games. They got so much going on and trying to do so much, they don't even sit down and actually watch a game go all the way through it. I think that's some of the problem too with younger folk, is you don't watch a whole game play out. You just fast forward through everything. And I was bad with the telestrator thing then. I've got much better with it now. This probably wasn't a very good slide here. But just showing positioning, and then players look at this and then they can tell like how the other team they're playing against might react or what they're going to do. So anyways, today we're doing the grand final. We should be excited, right? Now, when I was in Twitch chat, it seemed like most people were really upset with this final.
And then getting all the criticism and then developing to that amazing top player that you are right now. How are you feeling walking into these finals?
Make sure my microphone's good. I keep messing with settings, and then
last time we lost Anthem, and the last one I couldn't play.
I mess with this gain button here, and then I've had to restart the stream a couple times. I apologize if you're a Sodaron follower on Twitch and you got like 3 notifications. I apologize. I kept messing up with my microphone, so I had to restart.
In the top lane, Broken Blade, he brings so many innovative picks towards that top side of the map.
Your father knows about saving money. Everything I'm wearing, I've had since boot camp.
The last series, they actually played better than us, especially in the last game. I think Razok had a very nice performance in Game 5. But this time around, we come in more prepared. You know, we also embrace the chaos. We are G2 after all, right? We always like the bloody games, and today we know these games are going to be bloody, probably, especially after yesterday. So I'm excited. I'm actually very excited for this match. I think it's very exciting to come from the lower brackets after, you know, dominating Europe for so long. It's like a humbling experience for us, so we really gotta earn it this time around. So I'm very excited to earn it with my team.
It seems like you guys were born in the chaos and they merely just adapted.
I'm just looking at some stuff while they're talking. Trying to see the breaks here.
Is there anything you learned from that one?
Yeah, I mean, I learned that any game is winnable. I mean, the games were again very
Just pick
chaotic.
Ornn?
Just pick on and scale. I mean, Oscarina have been doing that. So I think it's very nice to, you know, be able to play those series. I think it always
1,
makes
2,
you stronger,
3.
you know, especially when you come out on top. Obviously, it wasn't our
Everything was going so fast at the time when I was doing this, so dates and all of that, everything was a blur.
embraces the chaos, and I think the team who will embrace the chaos the best today will come out on top, and that will be us.
May the best chaotic team win. Broken Blade, good luck versus
Thank you.
Fnatic on this series. And Shocks, back to you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that is music to my ears. And also, Duffman was tweeting, we're gonna fight. It's gonna be chaotic. I think we know.
Okay, so into game 1.
Along with the Rumble. Well, okay. Gonna be banned away Varus, targeted towards Hans Summer. Really looking to pinch his pull. We heard from Cager on the analyst desk earlier that he questions Hans Summer's champion pool in the current meta, and already Fnatic is looking to try and limit that even more.
And now the question is what happens with
1, 2, 3, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 2.
Still up and available. Maybe Fnatic want to try and lock in an early AD carry to confirm it, but no, the Zyra, which was a big pick for Yike yesterday, going to be taken away.
See if the Sejuani
Okay, so Rumble top ban,
with Zyra being such a fast
which I wanted to see Broken Blade play the Rumble top because it was permanently banned in the LCK from watching on my stream and
And a lot of people have been saying, hey,
all of the VODs I've done.
but it has not worked out.
So I don't see it permanently banned over in the LEC, so I see the opportunity for the Rumble top.
This was a highly contested pick in their last series,
But
and it was only
Fnatic first picked Zyra here, which I think Brand is a little bit stronger.
We saw Caps pretty much exclusively.
But one awesome thing that Zyra can do that I've seen is around 20 minutes you can not solo Baron, but you with another teammate or two you can like 3-man the Baron really easily at level 20 because their plants are so strong.
solution. So happy to take that one again.
We get Corki on Caps. This is the...
It's like trying even champions out.
Might as well look at stats while we're at it. But Sejuani's supposed to be the AP counter jungler. And now that I'm doing this, like, I actually want to go and start playing solo queue again. This is making me want to... Zyra wins against Sejuani 72% of the time. Okay, so Zyra's good into Sejuani. She's considered like an AP counter jungler, but here's the stats, and the stats don't lie. What does it say on patch 14.4? That's the only annoying thing are these ads, and I don't have an ad blocker that'll stop them. I've got one, but it's not doing what it's supposed to. So Zyra's good into Sejuani.
Like misfortune in the mid lane, but I wouldn't be surprised yet. There's the Lucian, and then do you take an AD carry here?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that counter AP jungler that I heard about Sejuani was when I was doing World Cup. That's what the casters were saying. So I got my information from the casters. So Rel is good into Corki. Yes, so Rel counters against Corki 54% of the time. Lucian's supposed to be, I think, a counter to Corki at the highest level when we're looking at the LCK challenge or the LCK players. But trying to debate the skill of the LCK players to the LEC, I don't know. I'm not here to put players down and say this person's bad or not, because I'm just looking at, I'm looking globally from the other regions. Says Corki wins 54% of the time into the Lucian. Oh no, Lucian wins against the Corki 54% of the time. So Corki is supposed, or Lucian is supposed to be a Corki counter.
Most played across playoffs, something he hasn't lost with across the course of playoffs as well. Where will G2 go?
Also, they got the Nidalee ban.
First rotation of red side.
I wonder if it's Braum or Ezreal. Both are available. Oh, they're gonna lock in that Ezreal.
So that might have forced the Zyra out instead of the Nidalee.
That will be his first Ez of the split.
Fnatic's got 3 AD bans.
Because you flexing the Corki down towards the bot lane.
Exactly.
We haven't
That's what
seen
I'm
that
thinking.
much.
I think here, though, for G2 Esports, you ban away the Kai'Sa already, go ban away the Zeri.
Ezreal, I think, is considered the strongest AD pick right now in the meta at the professional level. Don't quote me. You know, this site says Draven, Zeri, Ashe. Ezreal's down to the 5th pick. This was on patch 14.13, and I think maybe it changed in 14.4. Ezreal went to number 3. So it'd be good to get away from this patch 14.13 anyways, and the LEC be finished, because LCK's already been on the next patch for a while.
Go for Caitlyn has been the option that we've seen over the course of playoffs that he's fallen back to, but maybe even look towards something like a Jinx where you're not going to be under a huge
Leona ban.
that bottom side of the map, or you could even just go back towards the Jhin, which has also been something Noah's brought out to just provide utility and open up Oscar and to play this heavy carry style in the top lane.
Now, Hans Summer does have Ezreal in his history, of course, a player who's had a career as long as has. You'd expect it. 37.5% win rate across 24 games.
Okay, it's not
I think the Kai'Sa's a counter into Ezreal. Zeri. Ezreal wins against Zeri 47% of the time. Kai'Sa 50. For Ezreal wins against Kai'Sa 54% of the time. Interesting. On 14.13. Again, it's kind of confusing because you're going back from one patch to another.
Draven is one of them. Kalista is another one. He's a hyper-aggressive AD carry player. So to see him on the Ezreal, definitely be a change of places. Now, they target both the Kai'Sa and the Zeri, something that we saw them consistently doing yesterday.
There is also an option here for, like, I imagine they're going to leave counter pick for BB in that top side, but the Jace springs to mind here. You can take an engage support here for Mickey, go towards something like the Nautilus. You've already got engaged with Sejuani. Play this poke style with Ezreal.
I'm guessing Braum would be good into Zyra. Leona, good into Zyra.
Kind of fits that as well, which is, hey, we're just going to try and
Good to lock down Lucian.
And now the Jhin on the upside for Noah could be the, hey, I'm going to provide those slows so you can't just play this poke style. We'll be able to try and close that distance on you.
Right now, Fnatic is thinking about what potential blind. We have seen Renekton used as a relatively safe blind. Cassante is another option. But we know
I don't know why the Poppy, it ends up on support.
there's always the possibility of flexing this
They were saying that Mickey X is the Poppy King in LEC. Guessing because the Braum and Leona, mainly because the Leona was taken away. So what is Poppy into Rel? Poppy's good into Leona 57% of the time and good into Rel 61% of the time. All right. The Jhin, I think I've looked up, is a counter to Ezreal. Really need a second monitor. We'll work on maybe getting one sometime. Jhin wins against Ezreal 61% of the time.
I think the opportunity to push in topside against Renekton sets you up well, keeps you at a large distance from the likes of the Rel as well, where Rel kind of needs that flash to help close.
So Cannon's a counter into Renekton.
Trying to provide a little bit more of that engage and setup potential with that ultimate.
Which is something the rest of the competition was lacking a little bit. You have the Glacial Prism for engage, but then it's Mickey sprinting at them, trying to get on top of them, or...
So Cannon wins against Renekton 64% of the time.
More flank ability, and that Slicing Maelstrom obviously will shred through what is a relatively squishy lineup on the side of Fnatic.
Let's see, get a good screenshot here. Put in my draft page.
I think Fnatic can, of course, send both the Renekton and the Lucian off the side, but Kennen and Corki should have no real problems in being able to match that. G2 have some strong team-fighting elements like the Sejuani and Kennen combo. Of course, the important thing about Kennen is is always being able to find those flanks, but Fnatic's engage is going to be one of the scariest things. This
Game one.
engage followed up by the Zyra is going to be a lot of potential upfront burst damage, and a lot of pressure is going to be on Mickey to help mitigate that, find good use of his ultimate.
At this point, I think the players are burned out and want a break or need a break, because also Fnatic went to World Cup as well. And this is when I started streaming all this stuff again, so this has been, this month, been a pretty long month of all these games going on. The LPL, LCK, the World Cup.
For a lot of these team fights, and we're going to have to see.
Twisted tea is a refreshing, hard iced tea made with real brewed tea. Keep it twisted.
Oh my god.
I don't know, maybe I need YouTube Premium.
A little bit in this moment, but
And they get an immediate pause.
so I'm not going to go any harder than that. Obviously a storied history between these two teams. I've had so in favor of G2 as far as I can find. 2019.
This is hard on the players because it's what I'm going through with my thing. It's like being on, and maybe you got some caffeine in you to make you be more aware, and then you get a pause, and then it's like irritating and changes your mood. Mickey X, I like the hail of blades on the Poppy. I doubt that's what the OPG tell you to take, or the analytics. I was really successful with Poppy a few years ago, playing Hail of Blades jungle Poppy. Poppy. Support. Yeah, Hail of Blades is not the, that's a very aggressive thing that he's running, Mickey X. So this is where we try to figure out the wards, figure out what's going on.
That rematch in the final, so Fnatic, yeah, hoping that they're not going to end up in a similar situation here. And it definitely doesn't feel like it's so many people looking at Fnatic.
Or I call it man-to-man, like in football. You fan out. So man-to-man, man-to-man. He has vision on him. Supports have vision on each other. And the ADs don't have vision on each other, but I think they know where they are. Mickey X took the sweeper lens early, and we've got the double trinket ward in the bottom lane on Fnatic, which I think allows for a more aggressive laning phase, at least the first 3 minutes, 5 minutes.
The culmination of the top 6 teams through summer split performances and championship points, but the winner of summer will secure one of the spots at this year's World Championship. They will be one of Europe's representations.
So one thing about Zyra too is she adds you a little bit of extra vision early, which can help win games. Don't, again, that's what I preach here at the Sodaron stream, is vision. So Razork puts a ward down here at his jungle entrance to protect his blue, or in case he gets an invade or something.
Fnatic and G2, kind of unsurprising to see.
Not really anything exciting going on.
Similar story to what happened back in 2020. Both of them fighting for that.
Just some crazy stats. Fnatic versus G2 all time. Fnatic has 1 win of finals and 7 titles, and G2 has 14 titles, so double. So G2 has 62 wins to Fnatic's 43 wins over G2.
That guaranteed spot.
Yeah, so often they've been the two teams that really spearhead Europe.
And Yike does the same, it looks like. Puts a ward at his jungle entrance, and then is going bottom lane. Going to his blue buff, I guess. While Razork is starting his blue buff.
See that having played over 100 games against each other. G2 very much holding the win-loss, and you can see Fnatic only 7 titles, G2 14 all-time. Now that is including...
One thing that's nice about the Corki is he allows you vision on these side brushes with his Q, the phosphorus bomb. So, and Corki has some type of dash to get out safely, so Corki allows a really safe laning phase and allows you to play aggressive. Or I call Corki aggressively safe. How do I spell that? So Corki allows you an aggressively safe laning phase because of the phosphorus bombs, allowing you to have vision on the side brushes. So in case you're going to get ganked, if you need to look for the support, if you think you're going to get ganked or the jungler come in and gank you, there you go. Again, I talk about this line all the time that I preach over and over. To think about splitting this map in half. And if you're on red side, you know, that's your side of the map. That's your side of the map. If you're on blue side, this is your side of the map. And anytime you go over this line, you're on the enemy side. So you need to have a flash or a teammate or some type of ward, or you're going to get ganked or die. I don't like saying that word. Taken down. And unless you know where the enemies are. I mean, there's other instances where you know if you're looking at the mini-map and you see all 5 players on there, but you have to assume if you see your group of 5 on your team and you only see 4 on the other team, you have to assume that they're in that dark spot just waiting to gank you. So if you see somebody missing, you have to assume they might be near you. And so G2 whiff here with the sweeper lens. They don't get any wards out, which may cost them because that could give them some extra early vision. But Yike's going to start down at the red buff from Fnatic. So the bottom blue jungle. And it looks like Noah here put a ward at their Krugs. So this is warded. So G2 know that Resort's up here invading their jungle, their topside jungle. Yike puts down a little ward here.
Yeah, I think BB just gonna look for the slow push out so he doesn't put himself in too much hassle. But Oscar
That ward probably won't be up by the time Resort comes back down, I would say. But Yike does get some deep vision here in case Resort comes this way. So it looks like he's setting up a dive here at the bottom. Which also makes sense because Mickey X has the sweeper lens already, so they can clear out vision so you can't see the enemy junglers coming bottom.
right now, this actually might be a little dangerous.
This I see later in the game where Broken Blade's warding and stuff. Like, I don't know. Maybe in this instance this was a good ward from Broken Blade, but I think it's kind of a lazy positioning where he really needs to get wards down here. This is something I saw from Nuggery and Smeb back in the day. They would put wards down here on this wall, but that means he's going to have to come out here and maybe lose a little bit of farm, but invest in this deep vision down here. That's one thing that I really like to see Broken Blade do, is get a ward down in this area instead of up here. But that's me. I may not know what I'm talking about. Just one man's opinion. Even though I am the wizard of LOL esports. So here's the dive from G2, and they get Yun's exhaust down. They get Noah's flash down. Didn't cost G2 anything right here. Looking at the warding for Fnatic. going to say, is there anything that could prevent this? I mean, I think Fnatic knew this was coming, right? There's just nothing they could do. They didn't have the sweeper lens. Maybe if Yun had the sweeper lens, maybe this would have prevented this dive here.
In the bot lane, Nikki exhausted, gonna tank one extra tower.
I was going to say, I don't know why G2's trying to dive here, because you've got an Ezreal that can Mystic Shot away.
Shot, but he falls for first blood, and there's just no damage from the rest of G2 onto Fnatic. They strike first. Big mistake.
Either way, Hansama is ahead. I guess that takedown would probably make them well, not even. He's ahead 300 gold.
Mickey goes in, thinks he can tack one more terror shot, but as you say, there's no damage. The exhaust was there to deny any sort of real follow-up from Hansama or from Yike, and it's just done and dusted.
It's a miscalculation on the side of G2.
So Razork is going to go up top and also dive Kennen. Now this is probably a better situation here. This is much more diveable than what G2 tried to do bottom. Let's see what Razork did. I wasn't paying attention. I was watching the bottom lane.
It's just exhaust with he goes in.
To attack that. This because the enemy side jungle here will be.
Okay, so he comes in here and he's spotted out.
Respond to this because there's the potential for the split map, which is
so Razork's gonna take this camp and come up here and dive Broken Blade.
But you also isolate your Kennen with when alongside a Renekton gives Fnatic potential to attack that top side.
Yike's seen through a ward here for the bottom lane dive.
But Oscar Erning getting some great trades on him right now. This actually might be a little dangerous.
Now you see, you shouldn't play like this in solo queue. What allows this is Oscar has Razork up here. So this is allowing lane pressure over this line that I talk about. And this is the coaching and analytical stuff. I try to give you a little bit of a show at the beginning and warm up the crowd a little bit before I get into the analytical stuff, which is boring to a lot of people. So I try to warm you up a little bit and then do it.
He uses it immediately. It's stunned up. The Broken Blade's so low. Meanwhile, there's a dive in the bot lane. Nikki
so Razork getting his camp, and then it looks like he's gonna dive Broken Blade here, and then Lucian is super overextended here into caps. But again, Corki can play really safe in the mid lane because the phosphorus bombs, like I said, and he's got a dash. But he can see vision on either side of the lane in the brush.
Razork is hovering around the top side, but look at Mickey's response. He recognizes the potential dive, and he's here to protect.
Well, that was a good play out of Mickey X. See, I didn't expect Mickey X to respawn and path that way in time.
Flash will use it.
So Mickey X does get taken down, but he does path up here to save Broken Blade. That's a really good support play. This also, you have Hansama up here shoving over this lane by himself. Now they know that Razork's up here, so Hansama can play like this. But he's backing off. And he's 1 versus 2ing bottom. And one reason Hansama was playing like that because he knew his support was going top, right? So he's trying to push pressure in the bottom lane because he doesn't want any other help coming into the top lane, right?
Oscar still has flash here. We'll go through Mickey, get knocked back, but Mickey doesn't have steadfast presence yet. His W, he's only level 2, right? So he's got the knock into the wall and the hammer, and neither of those stop a Renekton sliding through you.
It's going to take away some XP.
So Caps is teleporting bottom. His teleport is down. Humanoid's teleport is down. Resork's flash is down. Yun's exhaust is down. And Noah's flash is down. Oh, and they got Broken Blade's flash.
Yeah, I mean, early game plan from G2, splitting the map, looking for an early dive, doesn't quite go the way that they want. And setting up this Jin for success, I think it's a very...
And Fnatic's getting ahead by like 1k gold.
You got to remember that that fourth shot just gives you so much power. The dancing grenade as well. Jin is a very effective laner. Often why he's used as an answer to things like Draven, like Caitlyn.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna... As they say, the show must go on. It's not really one of my best days. I'm feeling a little bit off today. I'm not really excited. Kind of burned out from this. But again, the show must go on. You kids want new content every day, and so here we go. Again, as they say, the show must go on. It's even like in the line of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band where Paul's literally saying, I don't want to play right now. Somebody else can go and sing. But I know the show must go on.
Because he can help clear out those waves and go to...
So see how the Q from Corki allows vision on your opponent? So this is really handy when they're in the side brush. And you can keep from getting ganked. You can just play really safe. Like I said, aggressively safe.
Toe-to-toe with some of these strong laners as well.
Also, I used to be really bad about doing these VODs, and I'd like burn all of my energy up in the first 30 minutes and then struggle through the rest of it. And I've learned to space it out a bit. And that's why I was worried. I know I won't have time to do the BDS one because it'll end up taking like 5 or 6 hours, or what'd I say it was? Was it 4 games? Only 4 games? So it looked bad.
At the moment, I think Fnatic just going to try.
Caps teleport is down.
Good vision already from Jun, and again, I think the fact that you've already burned some of these summoner spells on towards G2.
So Yun gets a Scryer's Bloom and gets some information up here with a deep ward in the G2 bottom jungle.
Up here as soon as possible, because look at where the wave is on top end. It's already pushing out, and Yike now is going to be pulled up as well to just make sure that Broken Blade isn't going to be done.
We've got Mickey X roaming in the river. I would say he's going to make a play on Humanoid. And so Hansama's down here, 1 versus 2ing.
He has a 12 CS lead. Mickey continuously roaming here. Hansama on the Ezreal, obviously very safe. It's one of the...
Looks like Resork's going to come in and see Mickey X here, though, so guessing Mickey's going to roam back to the bottom lane. It's time for the dragon. Now, I'd like to see G2 right here. I mean, maybe they're trolling, maybe they're trying some new stuff out, but I'd like to see get this dragon at 5 minutes. Mickey's Ignite is down. They get Resork. And this allows G2 to take an early dragon. As you see, Resork's gonna go right to the Void Grubs, I'm sure. Now G2 should be able to get this dragon and then come up here and get the Void Grubs at 6 minutes when it spawns, or roughly 6 minutes 30 seconds, but they should be able to also get the Void Grubs here after the dragon. Resork here, he went for Gromp. I think he should have just went straight for the maybe the Void Grubs and set up vision, or tried to clear any vision out. I don't know. I guess the sweeper lens wasn't procced, but so he was like a tiny bit behind because he did the Gromp camp while he was moving up. But there's, I guess, nothing G2 could do here. Zyra clears the jungle super fast. I mean, you see she's staying up with the laners here and farm. She's got the same amount of farm as Renekton and Lucian.
What's up with G2 though? Mickey already starting to move up. Maybe just X flashing back now. I wasn't sure if they were trying to maybe move in towards mid here and put a chokehold on towards Cap so he can get a reset in if he really needs to, but just going to contest the respawn of Camps here. Yikes, steals that away. Nicely done.
It's level 6 as well. Has access to the ultimate now. But with no objectives on the map, I imagine both teams will just turn their attention back towards farm and getting ready.
So Jin's ahead by 200 gold. He's got a pickaxe over Ezreal that's just sitting on the Doran's blade and the tier.
Where it was almost like overkill a minute, and it's just, all right, no, we're going to take it easy. We're going to trade objectives. I kill a piece. Even the fact
Resort's literally moving while his scrubs are being taken down.
But no mana, going to struggle to push in the way, but just about gets it in.
There's some words you can't say, and it like actually tries to censor it on YouTube. So takedown's a much better word than kill or die. So this will help accelerate Renekton now, who was, I don't know, he was staying even with Kennen. But now this should really help Renekton win this matchup top.
Has prioritized a lot of his early game focus around the bot side of the map.
Noah gets a plate in the bot lane, about 500 gold ahead for him. I will say G2 have done a pretty good job of keeping Razork's power farming under wraps.
Caps is way overextended here with no mana. Perfect time to gank him. That's one reason why he's doing it, because he wants Resort to come down here. Or Rel.
In this bot lane after taking that plate, but he should be fine. Jun and Razor going up towards the top side. Yike will meet them. And it feels like this has kind of been the story of the game so far. Every time someone,
because it's looking like Jin down here can get dove right now. Rel's up top. Yep, that's what's going on in the bottom lane.
Probably would have spelled the end of BB's life. Meanwhile, in the bot side, Noah trying to survive. The True Shot barrage comes out, misses, but the Mystic Shot does not. Hunt Summer.
So good play from G2 down here in the bottom lane. I don't know. I was paying attention to the bottom lane, so Broken Blade looks like he's gonna get taken down. Yike gets exhausted. No, lost his flash. And Caps is just getting free farm in the mid lane.
They make it work. They're still hovering around. Broken Blade and Yike thought that they would be safe to escort themselves back towards the top lane. But we look back at this bot lane play. I thought G2 were going to fumble this one as well, because we see has the fourth shot from Noah. Ends up having to reload early. Does very good damage onto Mickey though, and I thought maybe you could get a kill here, but doesn't quite have the ammo, and the bouncing grenade doesn't connect, which means that Hans Summer then, with a nice arcane shift, is able to find that kill. But then we turn our attention to top.
Yeah, you just get a nice lockup from Razork. Ultimate immediately comes down. Oscar in has the damage, and there's nothing BB could do. He'd already burnt that flash in the last engage. So nicely done by Fnatic. Stick around. Forcing Broken Blade to
so Hansama went mid lane now. Some type of lane rotation here. Got the dragon up in 45 seconds roughly. I don't know what Hansama's doing here. I guess he's getting the Scuttle Crab. They put a ward down. They're prepping for the next Void Grubs. They definitely don't want Renekton getting the the 3 more Void Grubs. So Broken Blade's ult is down and his flash is down. Renekton has his ult down. There should be some type of team fight. Looks like brewing here at the Void Grubs. Yike's there now.
Not too much more. It's Fnatic who are able to get the summoner out of the G2 mid.
Caps just barely not getting hit by that binding meant that he was in range then for the...
This ward I talk about, this is always a good ward to have here in the mid lane. Just put one straight in the middle lane.
Get one Void Grub, but seems they're scared.
Flash into the mid lane. True Shot barrage coming out. Humanoid will flash himself, but the keeper's verdict finds him guilty. Hans Summer with his second on the board.
Okay, I mean, there's a lot of interesting map play.
So the game's even.
Extremely well around their stacked waves.
Or at least the gold says that. I tend to really value the dragons. You got Resort going for the second dragon here. And G2 should get the next Void Grubs then.
Onto humanoid in mid lane. Now they have the kill lead. They turn their attention back towards top. Fnatic are resetting onto the map.
They got one.
Dragon just gets secured, but look at the positioning of Jun. He's in a stance saying, "I know you want these grubs, but we're not going to let you have them."
Because Yike moved up to try and help Caps on that top side.
So I don't know there. I think
He's now not able to get the Void Grub, so you can see Dragon taken. Razor gets
G2 should have just got the Void Grubs right here. They're giving Fnatic footing back into this ground. See, Caps went top.
And Mickey set up a dive onto Humanoid in mid lane. Now they have the
Zork's taking the Dragon.
towards top. Fnatic are resetting back out onto the map, but the Dragon just gets secured. But look at the positioning of Jun. He's in a stance saying, I know you want
Mickey X is recalling. Why is he recalling? Why isn't he staying at the Void Grubs? Why isn't Hansama staying at the Void Grubs?
They're really trying hard to punish G2 in any window that they can, but G2
Is it
TP'd Caps up
to
towards
get
the
their
top
first
side.
item?
Really, I thought to get control over the Grubs, but instead Hans and Mickey set up a dive onto Humanoid in mid lane. Now they have the kill lead. They turn their attention back towards top. Fnatic are resetting back out onto the map, but the Dragon just gets secured. But look at the positioning of Jun. He's in.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So Hansama gets his Trinity Force. Caps should be close to. Oh no. Hansama has 2 takedowns.
Dragon taken. Razor gets the move up as well, so it will be 5 Grubs now over towards Fnatic, which does help out when you look.
So that might have been a misstep where Hansama went back to get his Trinity Force, or maybe they should have just team fought right there, took the Void Grubs first. I think that was kind of a misstep. I mean, I thought that Mickey goes back, Hansama goes back, but I feel like they should have stayed and taken these Void Grubs. Zork's down here in the bottom at the Dragon. I mean, maybe it's because they don't know where Lucian is, and Lucian goes mid lane. So a little bit of a stumble there, or miscommunication. Hansama was like, dude, I gotta get my Trinity Force. I gotta have that first. Where they probably didn't need that to win any type of team fight. The Zyra ult is very scary to get stuck in, and the Lucian ult.
Thanks too many tower shots, couldn't avoid the curtain call. And in the end, Humanoid gets one in response.
Just kind of like
Avoid flashes will slow him down. There's the Winter's Wrath, and there's the Wrath of G2 with the knockback.
G2 basically used their turn in favor of.
trying to figure out if this is really a good play or not. So Yike ults, Humanoid. Yike was a little bit ahead there, really. Yike needs to slow down a little bit here, wait on Hansama and Mickey X. So he's going to get a takedown. I mean, Yike's going to get taken down. Gets Jin ulted too.
A heavy commitment from G2. Flash burnt there from Yike. For Razork, once again, you see this movement from both teams looking for a dive in top lane.
So Fnatic decide to dive Caps, and there's nothing Caps could do here. I guess I don't really need to go back and look at that. Got a teleport coming in here from Humanoid, making a play. His ultimate is down.
Immediate exhaust from Jun as he saw the Maelstrom come out. There's nothing Broken Blade can do. He's got no.
But what we want is the CS. We want 130 CS right now. Caps is there. Broken Blade is behind.
A nice TP comes through from Humanoids, knowing that they can easily collapse on this. And as you said it, Dagda, the exhaust comes through, completely mitigates the burst from Broken Blade. A situation where he perhaps could have at least gotten 1 kill means that he's denied. And while he does keep his support safe, he loses his life in exchange.
But traditionally, when we see
So Oscarin is getting closer. He's a good bit ahead of Broken Blade. That's because of the Void Grubs. But you still want your players at, like right now, you want your plays at 140 CS at 14 minutes, 150 at 15 minutes. So Humanoid's behind, Jin is behind, Hansama is behind, Caps is behind. They've got a lot of scrapping around the map. But when you start playing the top LCK teams, they will still keep up in that farm and take fights. So there's been a lot of silly fights going on in this game.
They go in with the flash, the strangled thorns, the true shot barrage, though misses. Jun, he was stunned in a glacial prison, but Hans Sommer didn't have the key to open it up. The curtains are opened, and in the end, Caps will be able to walk away. 1 kill over to Fnatic.
So that might have been worse if Humanoid didn't get Poppy ulted out of the fight.
They go in and goes down. Oscar in and able to down.
Because I like to look at on this who shot first.
How Oscar in can translate.
It's like, what is going on here? Like, we got BB teleporting to the bottom turret. Here, we've got Oscarin. I think he's recalling and then gonna teleport. The green is the recall. So BB has his ult up. Yike doesn't have his flash. Caps doesn't have his flash. So if Caps gets caught, he's a goner. Hansama doesn't have his flash. Does have cleanse. Rel doesn't have exhaust. I don't think Jin's ult is up. It's kind of black, so you can't. Blacked out there. Humanoid's flash is down. Looks like Rel's ult is down as well. And Zyra's ult is about to be back up soon. I think Rel's ult might be back up too. And this Renekton ult looks like it's down. So, like, good timing, or that's probably why G2's trying to push this fight here, knowing some of these timings on these summoner spells, cooldowns. It's like I talk about on my stream, you watch my content, I kind of preach it over and over that you make plays, you know when the summoner cooldowns will be back up, and you make plays by that. In that window, if you catch somebody out on the map where they shouldn't be, you punish them because they don't have their flash, or they don't have their cleanse, or they don't have an ultimate, or they don't have vision with a ward. Those are how you make your plays. You don't just randomly attack somebody. Okay, so Renekton teleported. Right? Okay. I don't know. I don't like the one's green, but why isn't it blue?
TP being invested by Fnatic.
Why is his teleport red and he's on red team, and this one's green and he's on blue team? Like, shouldn't it just be blue? Shouldn't it? Kind of confuses me. And also, why is BB teleporting onto the... At this time, why is he teleporting? And I get confused by the timing, where I need to look more into this, to teleporting, of when you can exactly teleport on a ward versus turret, because Riot's changed this since I've played top lane or mid lane and used teleport. I jungle, so I forget like when you could teleport on a ward versus teleport on a turret. So like in this situation here, it looks like they're at the right time where you can teleport on a turret here, or I mean you can teleport on a ward. So you have Oscarin here. Teleporting on this ward, but why is Broken Blade teleporting on this turret? Like, I would want Broken Blade to teleport here on this ward, or teleport here on this ward and come in and flash ult. So, I don't know that one. I don't know why Broken Blade's teleporting onto this turret. Because it looks like it's at the timing window where you can teleport on the wards, just because I see Oscarin doing that. So that wasn't very good positioning at all for Broken Blade. He really needed to come back in here and get behind them. Like, that was not a good position. Should have teleported to this or this, came in behind them. Again, I could be wrong, but that looks like a better positioning in this situation. And again, I get confused by that because that's exactly why I don't go into more discussion on this. Is I haven't played top lane or mid lane in a couple years, and I need to. Because Riot always adjusts this for some reason, and then it's like, well, when can you teleport on the ward, or when can you teleport on the turret? And then you look at try to read how Riot words it, and it doesn't make any sense. So then you have to go into the game and figure it out. I think it's around like 12 minutes or so. And I know I've looked this up before. Like I said, it's like confusing when you read the way Riot words stuff. It doesn't really do any good. You have to get in the game and test it out because the wording is just never correct or accurate. It's just like too much information all at once. And then again, why is it green on blue side and it's red on red side? Shouldn't it be blue? So it's at 10 minutes. That's what I think. And I know I looked at this before. So unleash teleport. What is unleash teleport? Well, I guess unleash teleport is when you can teleport on the wards or not. Unleash is not canceled if a targeted ward or trap expires. So why at 10 minutes and beyond is Broken Blade teleporting to this? Like, this is just lazy. Like, you're going to get punished by this when you start playing LCK teams, LPL teams. Like, why you need to be making plays from behind, be more dynamic instead of just lazily teleporting here. Alscaran was trying to get some flank behind you. He teleported on a ward. I'm not putting Broken Blade down, but I'm just saying if I'm doing any analysis and there's anything that G2 did wrong here, any mistake, that's one there they need to fix. This and this teleport spot, because Broken Blade could have came back here and ulted them. No, he's going after the wrong guy is another thing I'm trying to say. If you're the tank or you're the top laner, like, you don't really want to lock down the enemy tank in team fights. You want to get the AD carry, and you want to get the mid lane, and you want to get the jungler that's a carry. Keep them out of the fight for your team. Your team's going to do all the damage. That's what you have Caps and Hansama for.
The Cullen goes down. Oscar able to dash away for now. Jun low.
So Caps gets caught out, and Caps would have, if Broken Blade got behind in this fight here, Caps would have easily cleaned all of them up in Hansama. So that was like I gotta write this down too. I know what I'll do. What would it? Ah, okay.
They go in with the flash, the strangled. Dash away for now. His pressure at the moment has a bit of free time. down to TP, but we'll have to see how Oscar...
Might be better off doing this on sheets. I might be better off doing this on, like I said, sheets. But I'll have to do that next time. I'm just trying, or I mean, yeah, I'm slides, not sheets. I'm just trying to learn some new stuff. All right now, JD, I'm trying to work. This is where you start trying to distract me. And I try to tell kids, like, I don't know how you can work and do all this stuff with, like, I know coaches that have kids or have talked to coaches that have kids and a wife. How do you even coach and do all this work, like, without outside distractions? I don't get it, because I live on my own and just have a dog that's my distraction. Here I go. I'm being distracted right now while I'm trying to do the work, because it's like, again, Broken Blade should be flanking like here or here. No, JD. And so he chooses to go to the teleport when he should be like teleporting on one of these wards. So Broken Blade teleports here, but should he have not teleported like around on one of these? Now, do you get some type of bonus that I don't know about when you is there like a home guard bonus or something that I don't know about teleport? Does it give you a movement speed bonus or something? Is that the thinking here? Friendly Niche teleport. I don't know. I guess I'll have to just go in the game and test it out.
Go in and can translate his pressure with a TP behind. A counter TP being invested.
Broken Blade teleports here. Garen teleports here. Noah's kind of out of position. But I'm just saying, like, what if Broken Blade teleported here and came in behind? Or here and came behind? So that's all I'm asking.
By Fnatic. Broken Blade will spot out Oscar. The Cullen goes down. Oscar in.
Yike takes a lot of damage.
Able to dash away.
Caps does a lot of damage on Noah. Gets caught by the Jin root. Again, Corki is pretty valuable because he gives you vision here in this brush, or in this brush with the Q, or this brush with the Q. Now they have wards, G2. So Broken Blade's teleport is down, but that may have been a game, or that may have been a trade where if Broken Blade didn't teleport on the turret, that he could have came in and been a different fight.
They go in with the flash.
Like, imagine if Broken Blade had his ult back here and then Yike's ult. So it's kind of like a too late of a fight really here.
Able to dash away for now.
Because I'm just saying, like, Broken Blade needs to get these backline carries. The mid laner, the AD on Fnatic, not Oscarin. If Caps gets caught by a Jin root and then gets Zyra ulted, he can't do anything. At least he gets out of there. I mean, it was unreal, the carrying that Caps did on Corki in this series, I must say. Also here, like, Hansama's not really ready to take this fight because he's got no mana, so what's Ezreal gonna do without any mana? Where Noah has plenty of mana. Humanoid's about out of mana, but he should be able to get a couple more combos down. So, for my personal notes, Fnatic, Game 1, Broken Blade. We got to get Broken Blade some better positioning, apparently, G2 Army. And I'll just say lazy. Lazy teleport location. Why not on a ward? Just think it was kind of laziness on G2. not calling Broken Blade lazy, just like a lazy teleport location. Where he's like, I'll teleport in, we'll figure it out by the time I get there. Where he needs to be like, I'm going to teleport on this ward, Flash come in behind and ult Humanoid and Noah. You know, because all of this is just the after effect and looks cool to all of you fans, but it just looks like a fiesta to me. And that's kind of why I didn't want to get into the BDS game today. But I get people telling me I don't know what I'm talking about or I don't know how to do analysis, and I do. A lot of times I'm like distracted by my dog or my outside thing where I can't sit down here and break down a game in 3 hours. And I don't think most people can either. They're just full of it, you know? They just make it up or say, oh yeah, or make excuses. I don't try to make excuses here on the Soda stream or the Next Level. I'm trying to figure this out and give you the next level. Like, you know, G2, they're not perfect. There's things they need to work on. This is really going to not be good for them when they get to Worlds. And we want them to win Worlds. We don't want them to look bad in Europe. So I gotta. And if you watch, there's a song at the beginning that's my song. It is my song, not like my song as a whole. As I wrote a song with another band, and we paid to have the demo recorded and everything. And I don't even know if I can play it or not because of copyright, because we got screwed when we were 18 and some record label guy came in and said, hey, you want to be on a CD? And basically we signed the rights of our song away to him, and it's on Amazon and iTunes now. And I don't know if I put it on the beginning today because I would like it to be my intro song, because most people aren't even cool enough that they have a song that they wrote and did and all that. And so I'm going to start putting it in the beginning. But what's screwy is it's on like Amazon and iTunes, because when we were young, we were like 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, and we were told we're going to get money and all of this from a CD, and we didn't get anything, no royalties. Never got sent money. I'll have to check with my bass player. Maybe he got some type of royalties. I don't know. But it's like, I don't even know if I can put my own song that's mine, that I recorded and I paid the money for and had the equipment and all of this, and like sign the rights away to some company that it's theirs now. That's how screwy the world is. It's just unreal. But that's my song. Hopefully I can play it, because there's like a YouTube version from me where I uploaded it personally before it ever went on this label thing. And there's like another version of it that's like, I guess from the label or whatever. Never received a dime for it. They wanted me to pay to have, it's on a CD. Like, I had copies of it. And also they like charged us money to have the physical copies of the CDs, and never received anything off of it. But hopefully I can have that song and use it as my intro. That is my song. I have other songs I got to get this 15-year-old laptop I have, and like, because it's cool to have your own intro and stuff, and most people aren't cool enough to have that because they don't have original music, and I do. And so I realized, like, today I can make my stream cooler, I can make my show cooler. I've got my own song. I've got like 10 songs recorded. But that's all down the pike. So into this, again, we were talking about the positioning of Broken Blade and how this was a really lazy teleport location. I think he decided to teleport on this turret. And if he's going to play against T1 or G2 or Gen G and beat these teams, we've got to fix this, Broken Blade. And so some of these fights just kind of look like a fiesta and fizzle out, and that's what happened in this fight. They try to get you fans to get excited over these takedowns, but I don't really get that excited if somebody gets taken down or not. So Resort goes for the Rift Herald here. I would say also, see the Dragon's up in 1 minute and 41 seconds. So that was something that was really off on Broken Blade that needs fixed.
Objective off as the rest of his team reset back out onto the map.
He is low though, and multiple members of G2 starting to work their way into the area. So
He could have got some type of teleport, flash, alt play into the back line of Fnatic, and then took the turret down. Again, gotta close these games out in 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Maybe not so much against Fnatic, but I just mean like behind the scenes, practicing. Gotta get them done in 25 minutes. There's a reasoning why. So I don't think there's anything G2 can do to this. Caps has a teleport, Broken Blade's down in the bottom lane. With his teleport down, that was another thing. Like, here again, Broken Blade teleported back down to this bottom lane where I think he should have teleported here. Again, I like Broken Blade. I'm not putting him down. I'd love to work with Broken Blade. I've done some top laning. But he's down here. Like, he could teleport over to this. He could have teleported over here to this Rift Herald. He got a team fight.
Work their way into the area, so it does have to be a little bit careful.
I could be wrong. I think it was up. Okay. I was going to say, see, it's where I went and walked away for a minute and came back, and I got lost of track of what was going on. So he did teleport down to this. So not to put Broken Blade down. But I think that was a lazy thing on teleporting this turret instead of a ward over here. And I was just saying that when they were over at Rift Herald fighting, it looked like his teleport had just been used. So that's why I got caught off guard. Oscaron's stuck down here too. So right now it's like a race for the Rift Herald. Both teams are heading there. Zyra can probably farm this so fast compared to Sejuani, so and I would like to see G2 come over here and just force some type of team fight on Fnatic and not give this up. Like, I don't like giving up in life. I had to do this stream 3 or 4 times. I went on here and talked 20 minutes and did my thing again where I hit my mute button and then realized, oh, well, nobody heard what I said, so I have to restart it all over again. So right here, I don't know. Lucian's in the top lane. Corki's behind the Baron pit. Again, also, what's great about Corki? His Q. He'll be able to get vision on this. Trying to look at item power spikes. Would like to see Yike go in here and steal this. I'm good at stealing stuff on Barons and Dragons. Really good at it. I guess I'll need to stream and show everyone. Oh, so Yike does steal it. Good job, Yike. And it's kind of an outnumbered match, right? It's got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 Fnatic players, and we've got 1, 2, 3, or we've got 4 G2 players. This is again where you got to look, if you're the players, what summoner spells are up. So Jude's Exhaust is down. Zork's Flash is down. So Zork's somebody to probably engage on, or Humanoid's Flash is down, so he's somebody to engage on if you get a chance. Yike's Flash is down. Caps' Flash is down. That might be why he's playing so safe up here. Hanzama's Flash is down. I think Yike just used his ult.
Coming in from the top side as well. No flash on him. No on Caps. Keep going forward. Shadowing strike. There's.
So don't think there's anything that Mickey can do. I mean, it's okay. Yike got the Baron. And they're outnumbered right here.
Much damage immediately. We saw the smite go down to...
So what I'm trying to say is, should Caps and Hansama got into this fight?
Coming in from the top side as well. No flash.
Caps had full mana. I'm wanting to see a picture where it shows the items. Uh-huh. I guess this is why, like, Caps is staying behind, because Lucian's 769 gold ahead of him, so he's sitting on an item and a half to Caps' 1 item. So he's not confident to take his fight. I would kind of, from Caps' experience and everything, I think I would listen to Caps when he says to go or not go for it. This is even here, so I guess like Caps is very hesitant on this fight.
Does have to be a little bit careful. Hans is now cleared out mid, so can join the rest of G2 as they set up for the Rift Herald.
Jun has flash magnet storm here. Yike doesn't have a flash of his own. If Fnatic want to collapse, they can look for it. Humanoid coming in from the top side as well. No flash on him.
No, I think this fight, this must be a fight where Caps is like, don't take this, and the team does, and then he's like, oh, I want to bang my head up against the keyboard.
And Yike will give his life to make sure that he can pick it up on the exit as well, but still Fnatic getting more kills in these early stages.
I think G2 could have played that differently and maybe won that fight, but again, one of the main things is like Caps hesitating here because of these items differences.
Picking off 2 members of G2 off the back of this play.
G2 ambitiously tried to contest this objective. You see, it's
You
initially
know, Caps should be back over here somewhere.
but Humanoid can get involved in the fight much quicker. A nice engage comes out from Jun to completely lock up Mickey.
Maybe Caps forgot about his team, but it's like I talked about on my stream and Faker. Like he's very, you can tell he's item dependent, that he won't take certain things without item power spikes. Like Baron, like having 2 items at 20 minutes.
Bit out of sorts, and this is what we saw against BDS yesterday, was in game 1, game 2, them overextending to try and commit for some of these objective plays, and BDS were able to punish. Now Fnatic doing the exact same thing in game number 1. Keep my eyes on Mickey though on the bottom side, just trying to get some vision. As maybe.
So again, I talk about this line all the time, that if you're over this line, you're overextended.
On the map, if you try and trade that for mid, if you over push on bot.
I think the important thing for Fnatic as well is their gold lead is extending in other lanes than top lane. You can see
Got 2 Farsight wards on G2. Mickey X looks like he got caught out.
the curtain call comes out. Mickey didn't really want an encore, burns the flash to escape it.
Now he's got 2 escapes really, because he's got the Hextech flash and the ultimate's another escape out. So he can kind of play aggressive like that and afford to get caught out.
Yike was on the minimap for a split second. He still gets pinged out.
Alright, Humanoid dashes away. The Rift Herald's going to charge in. Humanoid flashes over to the other side. Yike still tanking. And with the
It's a good play. It looks like that G2 had, but they also lost the dragon here, and I would like to see G2 get the dragons.
Taking about half that HP, but still, Humanoid with a little bit of an outplay there.
That's the gold swing. It's 1,000 gold back into Caps' favor as we see Broken Blade trying to catch
So Mickey comes down and helps Broken Blade out here. He was kind of struggling, it looks like, in this Renekton, where the Renekton is a, or the Kennen is a counter matchup into the Renekton. But again, maybe Broken Blade hasn't played for a while on Kennen, so he's rusty. I don't know. All scared, and looks like he's played a lot of Renekton recently on stage.
Sets up at Rift Herald, thinks he can go for the play, but Humanoid, nice dash away from the initial charge from Yike. Even with the CC coming down, the dash back just barely gets the double tap that he needs, and it's gorgeous. But off the back of this, I believe, yeah, we see bot lane terror as we get back to live. So even though Fnatic were over pushing in the mid,
so Caps is now on his 2-item power spike. But Humanoid's on his 2-item power spike already.
Standing objectives on the map can really get themselves back into this. Fnatic have been playing so well so far. And
Sama's on his 2 items. Jin's on his 2 items. Zork is not on his 2. Okay, it's not 20 minutes yet. Scaren's on 1 item. Broken Blade's on 1 item. But seems like the LCK teams, they won't take the Baron until you've got, most of them won't take the Baron until you have the 2 items. So like G2 look like they're in a situation here, or Fnatic, where they could take the Baron at 20 minutes, especially the Zyra damage with the plants. And I mean, it's not looking good for G2 in this game because they're like 3k gold behind. They've got 5 Void Grubs that they've lost over to Fnatic, and they've lost 2 dragons.
As of yet, we see that as an objective after a fight rather than one around which a battle is fought.
It's been really interesting to see how Yike has started to play coming into this mid game. It's basically been like a Shadow Cap story where consistently moving up towards that top side to guarantee the Caps can push.
Got the dragon up in 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and the Baron is live. Broken Blade doesn't have flash. Scared doesn't have flash. Humanoid doesn't have flash.
The opportunity to push out side waves, get Oscar into a position where he's able to catch some of these waves as well. But Jun,
okay, less involved, Jun. Less involved in the plays, please. Can I just ask, was that a Mickey Mantle reference?
And Sama gets a turret down, so he just got a good chunk of gold.
That is actually next level.
He had a...
Could you tell me who Mickey Mantle is?
He's a very famous baseball player.
Okay,
so it was like he's hitting it out of the park, you know? That was very solid. Even though you
G2's doing what they need to do. They're over here taking the jungle away from Fnatic.
It's great reference there. Babe Ruth, other things.
Dragon now, a minute and a half. Baron is, of course, an option as well. Vision going to be invested.
Scaren's on his 2 items now.
G2's priority is not ready to set up for the Baron. I mean, that's obviously a benefit. Making Fnatic
Again, Scaren had the Void Grubs, so that's mainly, I would say, a big reason he's ahead of, you know, he's 1.5k gold ahead of Kennen right now. The Void Grubs help accelerate a top lane or help a bad matchup stay even or get ahead. Now Kennen's on his 2 items. So they should be able to take Baron, either team.
Once again, there's Yike there to assist, make sure that Caps can feel safe in clearing out these waves.
Their Resort gets his Rylai's crystals, so I would say like G2, Fnatic are gonna press the issue now of the Baron.
For the moment, 2,000 gold separates the 2 teams.
You got the Dragon coming up in 30 seconds, so
Did get out to that early lead, and G2 have been able to
teams are obviously gonna fight here. Caps has his teleport up. Scared has his teleport. Caps looks like he's recalling. And then probably going to come down to Dragon. He teleports here. Again, I don't know why Caps isn't teleporting here or something. Maybe in that play it was safe, but not safe to teleport there. But
Caps going to go and catch that mid lane wave. Oscar in still in the...
These are things I think that need worked on if you're going to play the LCK teams, because they're more dynamic, and these decision making here. Like, instead of just teleporting to this turret, they may have set up a play here to teleport onto this ward that's down. So if Fnatic win this dragon, I would say some of it is maybe this teleporting from Caps.
Whereas when you look across the Noah, yes, he's got 2 items, but this Jhin doesn't really hit particularly hard into a tanky front.
So one thing is Razork uses his smite right here to get the Scuttle Crab. May cost him on getting the dragon. He lost the Rift Herald.
Cap's going to go and catch that mid lane wave. Oscarin is still in the top side, pushing in, has the TP.
So here comes another teleport play from Oscarin. Just looks like Fnatic have better teleport plays than G2. At least judging from this game.
He burns it now to that control ward in the bot mid bush. The Drake resets. Broken Blade looking for that flank, but Oscar's already marking him. Oscar's already aware that Broken Blade will be trying to get in towards the back.
I'd like to see if Broken Blade had a ward there or not. Nope, he has sweeper. I was just gonna say, I don't know about that face check of Broken Blade.
Cap's gonna go and catch that mid lane wave. Oscarin is still in the top side, pushing in, has the TP, burns it now to that control ward in the bot mid bush. The Drake resets. Broken Blade looking for that flank, but Oscar's already marking him. Oscar's already aware.
This is when the analysis starts getting more difficult, is after like 20-25 minutes. It just becomes too many mistakes to try to clean up. Mickey gets Jun out of the fight. So I would say this goes back to the Caps teleport to the turret where they were behind, or there was some type of lag. So there's some lag or coordination that needs to be worked out on G2. That Fnatic look like they're ahead of G2 as a team.
That whole fight starts because they limit Broken Blade's impact. He doesn't get the opportunity to ultimate. Noah, with his ultimate, is able to follow up on this as well. You can see Broken Blade's immediately forced to disengage.
Now, Fnatic had the Scuttle Crab vision on this.
And then Fnatic look to collapse. They get that first pick onto Mickey. The problem is they end up taking a lot of damage from both Hansama and Caps at range, chipping away at their HP. But once the CC lands, you can see how quickly G2 is forced to disengage from the fight.
Yeah, and the fact that you end up with that initial engage coming through from Jun just puts G2 in such an awkward spot, because Yike has to walk the entire way around the back, so you've no extension front line for Hansama. And then
I mean, Caps didn't really have any protection there to do any damage. Yike gets melted. Need Broken Blade there, but he face checked in this brush and took all this damage. So G2 needed their tank, and Kennen has been described as a tank. I remember Naguri talking about Kennen, saying he's a tank, he's tanky. So a lot of people see him as like a carry that's squishy. He's tanky.
And then with the re-engage here, Hansama, that's so unfortunate. Like, has to be nearly single-digit HP for Razork.
So by this time, it's just like too late. So G2 again lose a dragon. We preach about it here on the Next Level with Sodaron. Get 4 dragons, get the Baron, and close the game out in 25 minutes. So that was some bad team calling, positioning there on G2. I could go back and rewind it, telestrate it there. Yike got a good, I'd say maybe that was luck that caught somebody out on Fnatic.
start to teeter over towards this Baron just to see if they can draw Fnatic in.
So Yike's flash is down, his ultimate is down. They should be able to go for Baron. This was one thing I recall that Mickey X didn't take the Warmogs, which was kind of weird because it's like all you see in LCK, LPL, the Warmogs is so strong, second item, and here I don't know why Mickey X took the Dead Man's Plate. Maybe it makes Poppy tankier, so this was kind of cool, I would say, that Mickey X took.
He killed 2 of the wave's minions, so at least it denies some XP from Broken Blades.
Now Ezreal's on 3 items. Broken Blade does catch out. Oh, and he lost. He gets outplayed by Humanoid. Thankfully, he had Yike around the corner to help clean him up. And I preach about that. I don't like players making solo takedowns. I like players not making a play until they have, unless they 100% know they can make the takedown. I don't want them taking a play like that unless they have a teammate around the corner, where like Broken Blade did. He had Yike around the corner in that position. I don't know if there's really anything to analyze on this or not, because Hans Sama's on his 3 items now, so he's got a huge power spike. And him and Yike just kind of, I think, caught one person out of position, and then they caught another person out of position, and it just snowballing. I don't know why Caps is just straight up going under a turret like that. But like I said, Caps was absolutely nuts watching this. Caps is on his 3 items too. Okay. Humanoid's on his 3 items. Noah's on his 3 items. And Renekton and Kennen are only on 2.5. Where Yike's on 2 items and Zork's on 2.5 items. But this is kind of, I think that Zyra ult was a whiff there. Mickey X gets a good Poppy ult on Zyra, so she can't spike the Baron down. And then Yike's going to come in and catch out the Zork here. Again, maybe I'm being lazy. I should go back and telestrate this and stuff, but I'm going to keep rolling. This is game 1. Once you get past 25 minutes, it's hard to start really analyzing stuff because it snowballs so much that you're just cleaning up dumb mistakes. So that's why you got to stay in like the 25-minute window. Those you can kind of control and fix those mistakes. Kennen's on his 3 items. Renekton's on his 3 items. I really like a Seeker's Arm Guard would be good here, or like a Zonya's 3rd item. For just engage and disengage. I think I heard that Broken Blade's the team captain, so you're going to get caught out a lot when you're the team captain. So G2 are getting the dragon, they got the Baron. And it's kind of like momentum. You got a momentum swing with that Baron buff. Noah looks like he's ulting them to disengage this fight, but it's not going to do anything.
Pushing in, Oscar looking for a flank position. Deadly Flourish going wide, Broken Blade still waiting. Not spotted as far as I'm aware. Jundo is caught out, he dashes away. Oscar looking for that flank, G2 immediately collapse. Mickey able to avoid some of the culling.
So Humanoid has to use his ult to get Mickey X, which may have been bad. May have needed that for someone else. Mickey X looked like he was almost really low HP anyways, but regardless. The Baron buff is really good for getting the enemy turrets and breaking into their base.
terror.
I think for G2, it's also a big thing that Hans is having a good game.
See his teleport. Broken Blades teleports down. His flash is down. Caps is about to have teleport back up.
But Fnatic's draft approach was banning out Hans Summer's champions. So him having the ability to rely on something like the Ezreal opens up the draft options for G2, while also puts that pressure on. These teams also have to be thinking about, because this is a long series, right? Even though right now it's a very close affair, 14 kills to 16, we're at 30 kills, 30 minutes. G2 have the Baron, but that doesn't mean that this game couldn't swing.
So just looking at the vision stuff.
And just look at the damage that Hans has put down in this game. Obviously, Ezreal, very easy to put damage. Well,
Mickey X getting vision down here. Hopefully prepping for the dragon. 3 minutes. Of course, the Baron will be up before the dragon.
This man with this champion.
I'm not going to disagree with you, Eddie. Just shows
he's having a good game, especially
this is what Mickey X was allowing. He's allowing Broken Blade to push this bottom lane and overextend.
Great performance from him. Definitely needed him to set up here.
Then I talk about it that this is how I see the game, that G2 own
But not all doom and gloom just yet. Their itemization is still
this much of the map.
could very much swing this game in their favor. The only problem for them is that this Broken Blade
So like Oscarin over here could get caught out, get punished. He does have flash.
the Zhonya's or the Death Cap next, and he's in a position where he can really do some serious damage.
4 items complete on towards Humanoid Noah is going to be pretty hurtful for G2 if they end up in a wrong position as well. So they'd be very careful. Infinity Edge just completed for Noah alongside that Rapid Fire kind of means he's going to be hitting like a truck. So I think for G2, you have to be a little careful about how you set up. But again, this slim gold lead and the control they have on the map is going to make it difficult for Fnatic to really contest.
He could have maybe got Oscarin. He's, again, way overextended. No vision.
Does have TP up right now, so you can teleport.
May have even pulled Caps to the bottom lane when he doesn't need to be there. Baron's up in 50 seconds. Corky's on 4 items. Sejuani's on 3.5 items.
Not able to get anything deeper than that right now. Jun kind of needs his buddies on a tag team through.
Zork probably needs his Zhonya's as well.
Because there be Mickey, like waiting around the corner as well.
Just a bit of a battle over.
Caps has his teleport. Let's see, all the teleports are up.
Wait for the next objective. 20 seconds on Baron. G2 is the one with control over the river. We look at the mini-map and we can see there's no real flank wards available for Oscar. But G2, because of all this deep vision, if Fnatic were to start the Baron, it's such a juicy flank angle for Broken Blade, so they've got to make sure that they clean out their side of the map too.
Caps gets his blue buff. That may be one reason he was staying down there. Trying to get double blue buff.
And Fnatic eyeing up that Baron.
And that needs to be careful because the TP behind them by Broken Blade with a slicing Maelstrom could
So,
be devastating.
30-minute fight over a blue buff here.
It's gone down onto Humanoid, almost at half HP just from the poke out of Hans Summer.
Fnatic have been doing a good job.
Like, one thing you can bait your enemy out of. Nobody uses their smite there. I was gonna say you could have baited Zork out of his smite and then maybe took the Baron right there. So maybe that was some of G2's thinking. Was maybe Zork would smite the ancient golem and then he wouldn't have smite up for the Baron, and then you just go and take the Baron. Yike did use his flash though. And the dragon is live. Looks like Caps is taking the dragon.
Was within an inch of catching Mickey, but it wasn't quite close enough. Yike lands the smite. The keeper's verdict knocks away 2 as Mickey goes in for more.
Broken Blade has all. He was kind of behind on the flank there.
Fnatic do get 1 out of the fight, but they lose the Drake.
Still got push here on mid for G2 if they want to just clear out this wave and potentially move over towards the Baron. Fnatic, full reset here. Broken Blade still has that Maelstrom available. If
They got Humanoid teleporting in behind.
That ward where Humanoid just walked is a ward for Broken Blade to TP on. Deadly flourish.
It just in this first game, it looks like Fnatic have much better teleporting.
Fnatic find him. Broken Blade TP towards the bottom side of mid. Look at the damage onto Humanoid and Razork. Everyone blinking health bars. Really on nowhere here. They want anyone healthy to try and stand up to the face of G2. Broken Blade and Cap still looking for that flank. BB has the flash. He goes
Come on, G2, just take the Baron. Noah's cleanse is down. June's exhaust is down. That's probably game.
And you can see the poke damage from G2 is just ruthless.
Empty lane.
Fnatic killed the jungler, but they don't have the HP to commit to the Baron. And now with 4 members dead, I think G2's gonna end the game right now.
Just like that, a snap of their fingers and it's done for G2. Fnatic were in the
So Mickey X's Poppy support looks good. Again, he didn't have to use Warmogs. Okay, he got a Warmogs after the Dead Man's Plate. Where is...
Everything they needed, but G2, they find that one pick, that one moment, that one tower that just starts to snowball.
Where's the end game thing like the LCK does? Do they not show it?
Dealing in the late game was just too difficult for them to deal with, and we'll see how things adapt. Great game 1 from the side of G2. Fnatic showing a lot of very game was just too difficult for them to deal with, and we'll see how things adapt. Great game.
I guess I'll use that to remind me who won. So game number 2. I'm gonna take my break. And if you're new here, if you're first time watching the Sodaron stream or the Next Level with Sodaron, I do have a little one that I have to and he's old, he's an old dog. And so he takes some time to take outside and bring back in and feed. And me, I got to feed myself and take care of myself. So after talking for about 2 hours, I need breaks sometimes. So I'm going to take probably a 15 or 20 minute break. If you're watching this on VOD form, I do edit it out after a day or two. But if you're watching it on VOD form on Twitch, fast forward through. The way I do my VODs, when I'm doing the Next Level with Sodaron, I don't really even expect chat in here. It's nice when people show up and talk and may add an extra layer of stuff. So hopefully that goes on. But you know what I'm doing right now, I don't really expect that. I don't buy views. If you want to help me, follow me on Twitch. Probably a bot. I do get notice that I get views on my Twitch, so I know people are watching this. And that's today's world anyways. You watch it at your own time. Maybe on down the road I'll do it differently and we can have people in here that I'll do it. Mainly I'm doing it at really random times. Which after today should change some things because I got some appointments coming up. So I will be back. If you're new, I put this sign up here and that allows you to skip through and see where I start talking again. All right, and welcome back. If you're watching via stream and if you're watching VOD, then none of this will really matter. So here we go into game number 2. If I keep going at this rate, I'll be late for my appointment later today. Don't have time to listen to their stuff here. So again, going into my draft. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2. I want you to think that you're drafting groups of champions on the blue side and singles on
Rumble banned away from B-Boy in that top side of the map as well. See Zyra immediately going to be locked in. I am kind of, well, with this Sejuani gone,
So
I'm not as surprised.
Fnatic take the Zyra again and ban the Sejuani. So we get Brand, we get Corki again. I'd like to see Ike play the Nidalee. We get Lucian Ezreal again. We got Corki. We don't really need to look at the stats of this. And do we get Nautilus? Nautilus looks like he's good into Ezreal.
there's an AD carry that's missing that he has access to that was banned last game that I've now completely forgotten. But last game
Zeri's still there, Kai'Sa could be the answer, but I imagine we'd be banned away as well.
Varus. Varus, that's the one I was looking for. Now the Nautilus locked in for G2 does suggest that they could be looking at a Varus. If they're sticking to form, given that they've already seen the AD carry ban, we likely won't see the Kai'Sa and the Zeri come through. Instead, what I imagine is they'll look to ban away support.
And a Rel ban for G2, a Jace ban. So I'm guessing they think that Broken Blade's gonna play Jace. I think we just recently saw that in the BDS series. The Rel Ezreal looked pretty good. Braum, Rel. Huh, interesting. I don't know why the Rel Braum. Ezreal. Braum. Ezreal wins against Braum 45% of the time. Nautilus wins. Ezreal wins against Nautilus 59% of the time. Ezreal wins against Rel 54% of the time. So I don't even know why the Rel Braum. I guess maybe they're good into Corki. Corki wins against... I don't know why the Rel and Braum. Guess Braum might be... His shielding might be good into Corki. I can't recall what Broken Blade plays. I thought it was like Renekton.
Maybe when you go to leave lane, you leave the Ezreal and Kai'Sa in their 1v1, but essentially that's where Kai'Sa's strongest because she hits the Void Missile onto Ezreal.
So Varus ban, which we saw Broken Blade play like 3 games of Varus recently into Fnatic. And that was so long ago, I can't even recall. I'd have to go back and look because I've watched many games since then. That's like the problem when you get into the pro stuff is you can't even watch what's going on because you're so burned out and your brain can't even comprehend so much League of Legends. I've already worked on it. And so it's like hard to pay attention to all this data that's going around. And so, okay. I don't know if that was the correct order or not.
Giving some more range to the G2 composition.
Let me see, okay. Game 2 draft. What did I want to look at? Is the Jhin counters Ezreal. Does the Braum and Rel counter Renekton? I don't know why this resets this every time. Braum, Renekton wins against Braum, 51%. Renekton wins against Rel. So I don't really know why the Rel and Braum bans. Maybe it's something I need to know about Jun. I think we looked up Ornn's good into Renekton. Renekton wins against Ornn 71% of the time. This is Korean solo queue challenger ladder. Renekton wins against Ornn. That may be because of the void grubs though, and not the actual stats. What's the Nautilus and Ezreal? Ezreal wins against Nautilus 59% of the time. So, I don't know. Kids call this cooking nowadays. It's funny to see that G2's banning Tristana. It's funny that they're banning the Rumble. I'd like to see Broken Blade play in the Rumble. I think it's going to be important later on. I mean, he was just nerfed, and teams are still playing, or still banning him. So we get Renekton in this game. Oh yeah, we had him last game, didn't we? So I mean, you start getting into this stuff and your brain like can't even comprehend. We had Renekton last game. Your brain can't even comprehend what you were watching. So you have to keep notes, kids. I think his head gets shaved by the end of this. Baldy.
And so I think the logic behind the Jhin is that it comp tanky side on struggle to a degree, struggle significant serious damage. So
I like his sunglasses.
last game, Fnatic, they got off to an early lead. They found a lot of great skirmishes, but it was really that.
Okay, so 30 seconds into the game here. I usually have to pause it. Man to man, you get vision. They fan out and you get vision. Notice how Mickey X is mid. And Jun goes mid.
Are you a master of the Rift? Do you never miss a game? Santander's here to reward you. Head on over to SantanderGaming.com to win weekly and monthly rewards like Hextech chests and skins. This week's code.
I see Electrocute on Brand, which is something kind of newer to me. I've not got to try out. Noah's got Barrier this game instead of Cleanse, which you might want Cleanse in this game because of getting locked down from this stun and getting this ultimate and getting rooted. I would think the Barrier might be bad on this.
Is a mystery according to our auto queue, but you see it on the screen. It says
I think Hansama got vision of, well, maybe not. He can't see in that brush. What am I saying? So one nice thing about Zyra is she gives you a little bit of extra vision here with the plants where they spawn. Let me look at the runes here. Hey, Yikes got one of the runes I really like. He's got the Ghost Poro. This is weird. Leona's got Sweeper Lens. I try to figure out why these teams go back and forth on these things. I mean, he got Dove early the last game, so that might be some of the reasoning. The Ezreal Leona lane should be stronger early than the Nautilus Jhin, so that's probably another reason why they got the double trinkets, so they can stay safer in the lane and try to prevent a dive or watch out for a dive early, like 3 minutes in the game.
Gameplay game 2, HUD, in-game HUD. Viz sponsors game 3.
Minions have spawned.
So, you mentioned something, Betty.
I don't know why the players in the LEC don't take a HP pot. I think you need that when you're making your first dive or gank.
But getting out to an early lead doesn't seem to actually eventually win you the game, because G2's early game across playoffs has been pretty poor.
Brand, it's tougher for him to start on the ancient golem side of the jungle. He clears the red side of the jungle quicker starting out. So there's another thing. It's going to slow Yike down, especially with no HP pot early.
I mean, Dagda called it. I see jungler bot. Why don't we do this? But
So it takes a lot of time making these VODs. By the time you do it and record it, and you're gonna make a lot of errors, and then you gotta upload it, promote it, label it correctly. You got to edit it. You got to make thumbnails. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I think against the composition that G2
You know, you think this is a quick 4 hours and 22 minutes. I'm already on 3 hours.
drafted, it was just it was always going to be a difficult objective to contest.
That's why I didn't do the BDS series.
I guess you could argue that in the clutch, G2 can rely on their execution. It's a very vague.
The warding again with Broken Blade. I don't know if this is. I would think it might be more efficient to get a ward down here or down here. This is kind of lazy warding to me.
Analysis because there's not really any objectivity to it.
Yeah.
But
Maybe I'm old school and the timers aren't as long. I just need to go play top lane, I guess.
but we're definitely seeing a bit of it today.
Yeah, I think what G2 are very good at is actually Mickey.
Mickey needs to get out of this. He's always
So that's the thing. If you're new here, like when you're a bottom lane, you're trying to get level 2 on your support and AD, and you can get a power spike over the enemy where they're both level 1, and then you can just go all in on them. That might be some of why he went barrier, Noah. And this costs Mickey X his flash.
already flashed and he's already down. First blood to Fnatic. That was beautiful. Okay, Jun baits him in with the Shield of Daybreak into Concussive Blows counter, where it's like, oh, I'll stun you, you root me. They both pop their aftershocks. Mickey did not realize Jun was going to hit 2 as he walked into the bush. Really well played by Jun and by Noah. It was actually a top tier support gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, realistically though, you should have.
He should have known, yeah, it's still top tier.
Right?
Okay?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the positive side of it, Rob.
Yeah. I mean, nicely job from Jun. Yeah, I mean, the creeps are about to die here.
So Jun gets rooted, but again, they're both level 1, so you can pretty much win that trade. Not every champion and stuff, but you have a huge power spike where you're level 2 over somebody that's level 1. You're like basically double their levels.
Maybe they want to dive.
It'll be a risky one. Maybe looking to see if Yike had started topside, could go down towards, steal away his.
So G2 have vision of Zork and Yun here.
Noah's going to get hooked with the deadly flourish as well. That next wave is a long way away. More to poke Hansama.
I think the straight up Ornn is stronger in the Renekton. It's just the stats skew it because of the Void Grubs in the solo queue.
Nice job from the Ike to manage to just finish that one off. Just clipping them, but now Fnatic realize that could be the go button on the bottom side. Wave frozen away, a lot of vision. They know that the jungler is here.
Man, this is still super risky though. The cleanse flash on Hansama. Mickey still has the aftershock. They flash for Hans. The cleanse away. Hans tries to jump towards the top side, but he's on the wrong side.
Don't really think there's much G2 could do to prevent this.
I mean, ultimately,
You know, maybe play safer.
Towards the top. Hansama. Mickey
Is here.
Man, this is still super risky though. The cleanse flash on Hansama. Mickey still has the.
Looks like let's see, Broken Blade's recalling, and Yike must have got just got the Scuttle Crab. Which you're not wanting Renekton to get the Void Grubs in this matchup. Good job on Broken Blade, though, taking the Bramble Vest to cut down the healing on Renekton. You know, plus the armor, the thorns. Now this is where I want G2 like prepping to take the dragon here. Fnatic do have the Scuttle Crab vision. So basically, if you're going to take the dragon at 5 minutes, it's going to force a team fight.
With the early tier buy already there, he's going to very quickly work up to Sheen. But Humanoid now going to feel a little bit of pressure as Yike moves up to try and help out Caps. Just really want to get this wave crash because it is pushing in towards Humanoid.
Mickey makes a good play there on Yun. But I'd still rather see him over here just getting the dragon. I mean, Caps may need to recall and could teleport down here. Of course, he could have to teleport to his turret and not the ward, but that's okay. That's what you got to do for the first dragon. I feel like it's where players get lazy. Like, and they don't want to make teleport plays until 10 minutes. Or but G2 should be able to take dragon here, but Yike's going to get the Void Grubs. Brand farms the Void Grubs really fast. It's one of the reasons to play Brand. I don't know why he's recalling. Like, he's wasting a lot of time here. Where the team doesn't know what to do or where to go, but I think he should have took the Void Grubs. Or they should have taken the dragon here. Even Caps could have backed and recalled, and they could have taken the dragon. Just have to play safer in the bottom lane. Like, you know you're going to get dove from the Leona and the Ezreal. I don't know why Fnatic's not taking the dragon either. It looks like Zork's going to the Void Grubs. But like Fnatic or G2 could have 3 Void Grubs and 1 dragon already, and they've kind of wasted time running around trying to figure out what to do. If you're playing against the LCK, LPL teams, you can't be indecisive. There's really no lag in the playmaking. They know where to go.
Noah's going to have the advantage over Jin. So at the moment, G2 are going to be just behind the play because of the way the lane assignments are right now.
Ezreal's on a much bigger power spike right now with the Sheen and the long sword.
Towards that mid lane tower. Grubs exchanged for the Drake at basically exactly the same time. Broken Blade still no flash as Razork has made his.
So now Broken Blade's going to have a really tough time top lane. Guessing that's why Noah's up here for one reason.
This game is the slice and the dice. Broken Blade finds one. Noah though answers with a mystic shot to get one of his own.
I wasn't really paying attention to Noah coming up to the top lane. He's 1,000 gold ahead, so I guess he could afford to stop laning phase for a minute and help Oscarin in the top lane. And now I see Oscarin's coming to bottom.
Whereas Broken Blade was actually able to get the majority of that first wave. So Broken Blade is going to be in a position where he's actually relatively okay in the grand scheme of things. And
Fnatic's doing a good job up here, working together to keep Vision and keep Noah safe, taking farm away from Yike or G2. Got some G2 or Fnatic have some deep wards up here in the G2 topside jungle.
it's just I want to see how much Noah can do now on this Ezra because
So this is where Noah should be mid lane now, and if you're a solo queue player, when the first turret goes down, then you swap to the mid lane. And you let your mid laner and top laner side lane. That allows your jungler and your other laners, your support, to keep you safe. A lot of ADs don't have a dash or something, some type of ability to stay safe. Or glass cannons. And Fnatic didn't swap. I don't know why. They should have just swapped Noah mid lane now. First turret's down. Got 2 minutes to decide what to take here, Dragon or Void Grubs.
So as long as Noah is able to just play safe and play around his team, this could easily be Fnatic just riding the coattails.
Zork's getting, I don't know. Yikes, staying pretty even with Zork.
While he can definitely have strong performances, can he perform when it matters, right? He himself has talked about how the
This is where I need to keep track really of when the blue buff for ancient golems are up too, because a lot of teams it's like they value the blue buff over taking the dragon or void grub where they don't need it, and then they could get the blue buff after they get the dragon or void grubs.
entire the game for his team. Fnatic have a very healthy gold lead.
So all the summoners are up, and now they're all level 6, so they have ultimates. Mickey X gets Resort caught out there. That was good on Mickey X. So some indecisiveness and Oscarin's teleporting. It's going to be too late. It's too late of a teleport from Oscarin. I think he's going to be a goner. You have Noah down here. But I don't know if he's going to be able to save Oscarin. You know, obviously he's going towards Noah.
An overextension from Fnatic. Razork tried to stick around after already burning his flash, and Mickey had him in his
So really, like, there as well, like, I would think G2 should have just shoved this mid lane, dove Humanoid. I mean, Humanoid had flash, but push this turret down. I guess they're recalling to get more wards and hopefully prepare for the dragon that's up in a minute, or the void grubs that are up now. So, like, I would think Yike should be prioritizing getting these right now, like straight up going there, or getting some farm or getting vision, whatever down in here, getting ready to take the dragon in a minute. Yike did lose his flash for no reason. Meaning he made a greedy play and whiffed, trying to hit a home run.
Still chasing forward. Oscar flashes as the blast cone to get to safety.
Loses his flash though.
So Yike should have, like, just could have had those gone by now.
Dragon in 20 seconds though. Broken Blade's ultimate will be up in time for that fight. Question is, do they even want to try and fight it? I imagine that they will.
Caps has flash.
Fnatic set their sights on the bot tower. They have the push in mid as well. Overall, great map state for Fnatic.
Yike on the way down though, and I think that's where
Zork's flash is down. Oscarin lost his flash, his teleport. So Broken Blade's about to have teleport back up, so he could make some type of play here. So I think some indecisiveness here. G2 lose this dragon. They could have got the Void Grubs and the dragon, or both of them right there. They were just like, I don't know, indecisiveness, trying to figure out where to be.
Or the Black Cleaver for Oscar in it. So G2 willing to give over that second Drake. It's Fnatic's first of the game. They have 3 grubs as well. Razork's now up towards those grubs, doing a little bit more. TP invested by Caps. They're going to shadow him. They're trying to get plates out of this.
It's kind of late for that teleport. It should have been used to get dragon or void grubs.
So they can force back anyone from Fnatic, as you can see there, moving towards the bottom side. Yike just kind of doing his due diligence to force people away, and they're trying to hightail it towards this bot lane tower.
Two-shot barrage hits all 4 of them. There's his blade. Another TP.
Here comes Broken Blade. Finally has his teleport up, so he can make the play I was talking about. But they still are losing void grubs right here.
G2 were just playing for these extra 2 plates in the bot lane. They'll get them, but they sacrifice their
Or they should, like, at least try shoving this lane out while they're down here before recalling. Cap stays. What is Broken Blade? Broken Blade gets his Warmogs, I guess, is why he recalled right here. He's But again, they could have, like, just tried to put pressure on this turret down here.
But losing your support in exchange for a 1-for-1,
yeah,
I think that's pretty worth it. Herald now alive with the resets coming through from G2. You imagine that that's likely going to be their objective. We'll look back at the dive, and Jun kind of goes in here looking to try and keep Caps underneath the tower. Nice response from G2 as he uses the Valkyrie to get away. But it was this nice ulti there from Jun. Locks out. It gets body blocked, I think, from Caps a little bit. So he takes a slightly awkward pathing. No flash available, but he ends up trading 1-for-1. Nice play there from Jun.
And then you got Fnatic opening up on this bottom side again, trying to get this outer turret for themselves. Mickey can't really defend this with Caps, and they already know there's several members of Fnatic on this bottom side. Hansama going to try and move across, but
There's the awesome Ghost Poro or Zombie Ward.
I'm honestly surprised that they keep sending Broken Blade to top lane. My expectation would have been that they would send Caps up and then they would try and cross map, concede the bot tower, have Broken Blade with his ultimate, just catch his wave on bot. Because Caps is just kind of a spectator.
Don't really know why Broken Blade's coming middle here.
Much else that G2 can play for on the map. There's no dragon for them to secure. They're just
He's
kind of overcommitting
getting behind by like 40 CS.
and an easy objective in the form of that top tower is too. So there was an opportunity there for them to potentially cross map, but instead they just end up as spectators as Fnatic secure themselves another town.
And it kind of comes back to again like, hey, we want to try and force gold onto Caps. I think this position.
This is where I guess G2's gonna just straight up win this game from team fight power.
The Fnatic are ahead. It's kind of Caps who's that lone wolf with the lead for G2, and they just want to try and isolate him into a 1v1 against Humanoid.
So they lose the Rift Herald. They're losing a lot of objectives for no reason. That I just, when they start playing LPL, LCK teams, I think they're gonna get punished. Caps is basically on his one item, where Humanoid's on a 1.5 item power spike. So like Corki can't really do much until 20 minutes when he's on 2 items. And Caps had a crazy series on Corki and against BDS. Caps wasted his flash there. Hansama's flash and cleanses down. There's a lot of mistakes. I could go back and give further in-depth analysis, but again, I don't have all day, so I can only play janitor so much. Noah's on his 2-item power spike already. Dragon in 30 seconds, so I would hope that G2's prepping to take this dragon. Corki's coming in behind. I guess Broken Blade's just kind of kiting him around up top, trying to waste time, so maybe they could come down here and take Dragon or take this T2 turret out. It's Broken Blade. It looks like Broken Blade just got caught out.
Humanoid is on a rampage right now.
So I don't know what. Let me go back and see what Broken Blade was doing to get caught out like that. Like he's just straight up overextended. He doesn't have any vision here. No vision whatsoever. Overextended over this line.
The easy objective for G2 is that top outer tower. They continue to send Broken Blade up there. He's now getting collapsed on. Noah.
Going down and there's a follow-up from Hansama. Noah just gets a 1v2. Jumps across the wall. Flashes the NRG logo and on the top side of the map.
Broken Blade uses his flash, but it really does no good. Flashing over here. I think you'd be better off just to get taken down and hold your flash. Trying to buy time, I get that.
In the end, Humanoid dashes forward. Broken Blade just trying to clear out the wave. He won't get it all.
Looks like Caps was getting the blue buff.
Humanoid is on a rampage right now. We look back at this fight.
Watch the Zenith Blade.
So the goal here was obviously, I guess, to steal away the red buff. Fnatic quickly collapse.
Oh, no, it just follows him.
Connects the Zenith Blade. The Pyroclasm, as you called out, Medic, does a lot of initial damage, but Raz will go for the wall, and Oscar Ridden on the front line does even more. Ultimately, though, this is a 2 for 2. So you think Oscar Pyroclasm, as you called out, Medic, does
So I don't think G2 didn't have much vision here either. They're playing in the dark.
Oscar Ridden on the front line does even more. Ultimately, though, this is a 2 for 2. So you'd think it's not that bad, but then this triple kill secured by Humanoid. And then to make matters worse, mid is then secured by Fnatic. They find themselves a kill in top lane.
So I don't think there's anything that... and now's a good time if you're Fnatic to push the issue, because you know G2's up here taking the blue buff. They're not ready to take this dragon. I don't know if maybe they were just tired and burned out. Like the tweet at the beginning of this I was talking about.
Let's see if they can close this one out.
But I'm not here to make excuses for them. I'm trying to figure out what they're doing wrong, and hopefully it can help. Maybe I could figure out some problems or issues. I've seen more. I really should be taking all of what I see like I did on game 1. But I kind of don't have the energy and effort right now. I feel like I should be doing more of that throughout this game, but there's so many mistakes going on.
You're left wanting so far. Yes, you funneled some gold into camps. He's about even with his lane opponent, and all you've done is try to funnel him.
Those are all valid points, man. Yep. But any
No is way overextended. This line I talk about. It's like he's a free gank and he's a free gank. So hopefully G2 makes some type of play here and get this turret down. There's a bounty on it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Broken Blade doesn't have a flash. His ult's not up yet.
We've been in this position before.
Yeah, and any G2 fan will tell you the same.
Exactly. So I think both sides.
I don't know what they're doing. Like, why are they...
Connect.
Okay, I don't know. That was good. Mickey tanks the tower for an absolute year. He'll fall. Depth charge goes down as well as Jun tries to get the shield of Daybreak's Son onto Broken Blade. He's able to escape the clutches of the tower. Your inhibitor, the target, though. No TPs available for
Humanoid's just like breaking right into your base.
Doesn't open up the curtain call. True shot barrage clears out the way. Humanoid takes an inhib tower in the top.
The reason I'm saying that is because you're getting nothing but in the bottom lane. You just got nothing out of there. You know, look at it. The CSing. It's
Fnatic coming out on top with just nice plays and nice engages.
Humanoid is absolutely monstrous in a side lane right now. And
you should be at 200 CS right now. If you're playing LCK, LPL teams, that's where they're going to be right now. Even Zyro would be there, and Brand would be there. You know, Humanoid's there, but Corky's behind. Jin is behind. And this is where the 2 item power spikes, that's when they'll take Baron. So Oscaron's behind, but I don't think that Fnatic's going to let that hold them back. He's behind. He's on 2 items. 2 items. And Hansama's behind. No, the supports, they're not on their Warmogs yet. So Dragon in 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And I guess G2's like proving they have superior team fight over Fnatic in this, but when I'm looking at it compared to LCK and LPL teams, they look pretty bad in this series. Making a lot of mistakes, and that's the thing, the LCK teams, LPL teams will punish you when you make mistakes. They play perfect games. They play the perfect CS that I keep talking about, the perfect vision game that I keep talking about, perfect macro I keep talking about. They are always going to be ahead, and it's common sense because you're talking about like 1 billion people in a part of the world when you're comparing like millions of people in the part of the world, or hundreds of thousands of people that are fans to millions of people in the fans. So like Asia, millions of fans, and people that work on the staffs, you just have more and more people, so they figure more out than what we possibly can over in the western part of the world.
A single overstep from Jun is immediately punished. Noah gets caught with all of his summoner spells up. And you think, oh, they're going to get wiped. It's going to be a Baron. But fortunately, Oscar on the front line is able to do so much damage. We start this fight off with Jun getting picked off.
So Jun gets picked off. I was talking. Broken Blade didn't have his flash there because I was going to say maybe he could get somebody else, like somebody in the back line.
Humanoid is just able to follow up, and a huge amount was already used by G2 to try and set up the initial play.
Smiles on the faces of Razork as he landed a really nice binding into ultimate combo to lock up two members of G2 and zone them away.
So again, the laners should be at 220 CS.
As the fourth shot comes out of the curtain call and yeets him out of the way of the bullet. Like, it's a bit of anti-synergy between
Humanoid's there, Noah's there, Caps is there, Hansama is not there, Yike is not there, Zyra is kind of close.
Pockets of G2. 2 items now complete for Caps and for Hansama. The Infinity Edge second, his weapon of choice. But 3 for Humanoid. It's gone IE, Kraken, and Lord Doms.
Uh, 20 minutes. You should be on 2 items, 200 CS. You see something here. Let me look at VCS players. You want to put them down? See if I can see their CSing and stuff. Okay, 30-minute game, GAM. I think this... So 30 minutes, they should be at 300 CS, 300 CS. I think this is supposed to be like 10 minutes, 20. This was like information of trying to tell others it's really important, but they don't want to listen. The 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, that you got to be at 100 CS, 15 or 150 CS, 200 CS. So the timing, it's off from where I would want it. You know, I could only do so much. I would do this differently. And I did mine on pen and paper and had to scan it and all of this and was learning this and used the sheets. I'm just looking at like a 26-minute game, so they should be on 260 CS. They fought a lot, and I don't understand really why. Like, they just like to fight in the VCS. They think they're the LPL. You know, even at this 13-minute game, he should have 130 CS. He should have 130 CS. And that's like minions and CS that players that are pro players are missing.
I'd like to see Fnatic slow down a little bit, though, in the way that they're trying to set up these plays, because there's no need to try and overforce like they're doing at the moment. You can, well, Dragon's going to be up, so they will take it, but over the next couple of minutes, it's like just push in mid, set up your vision, play slow, because if you find any sort of pick with Jun or Ryzer, people die. You don't need to try and overforce these 5v5 fights and essentially cause issues for yourself. Now G2 though, are TPing in. They want to try and commit towards this. Oscar Innen is in base.
Played in. Jun caught out first.
So who shot first?
Try and commit towards this. Oscar Innen is in base.
So Mickey gets an auto attack on Jun that will root him, and then Humanoid uses his ult on Mickey X and is gone. And that was kind of a... I don't know. Once Mickey X is gone, I don't know if he got his ult off or not. It looks like his ult is down, but I'm saying, is this a good ult from Broken Blade or not? Was it kind of late? Because he's trying to use it now to save Mickey X, but Mickey X just gets melted instantly from Resork's damage, and Noah probably gets an auto in there. So at least he gets... I mean, you're getting the wrong guy. You're getting the support, but you're wanting to get Resork or Humanoid. And then that just gives the Dragon over to Fnatic. I mean, Fnatic don't look as bad as people are trying to say they are.
I feel like G2's in a better position because they also have access to the Baron. With a lot of ultimates used, there's a world where they could force...
So it's Baron time, 2-item power spike. Really should have 2.5 items by now, which like Resork does. Humanoid's on 3 items. Noah's on 3 items. This looks like a really tough game for G2 to even like come back. Just looking at this right now. Broken Blade's on 2.5 items. Yike got a Banshee's Veil. Might as well. Why not get the Zhonya's? Like, I think maybe the Zhonya's would be a better itemization than the Banshee Veil right here. So maybe G2 are cooking what they say.
It looks like they'll just secure that objective. So Fnatic still put themselves at
They should be able to go take Baron. Oscarin doesn't have his teleport. They claim the Baron with the Scuttle Crab vision.
G2's able to get the Scuttle Crab as well. Fnatic now have to fight their way back into the fog of war. Oscar acting as the front line.
They see BB on bot side though. He has no TP, so Fnatic might just...
No, I guess G2 are going to try to buy some time and run Fnatic around in their jungle here because Broken Blade is here in the bottom lane and they're probably waiting for his teleport to get up. Oscarin already used his teleport. A Humanoid can teleport in. Caps' teleport is down. So G2 might be waiting on this teleport to come back up before they do Baron or force a play. This should be back up in like 10 or 15 seconds. Or Broken Blade's just gonna roam here instead.
I prefer this play much more. Just prioritize getting that mid wave, forcing G2 to walk up through their topside jungle.
Once again by Jun. Mickey has to flash away. Oscar in and we use the blast code, but he's pulled back with the dredge line. Flashes the wall, Caps dashing forward, looking for
So they get Oscarin's ult out. They almost get him.
Not enough to kill off the Croc. G2 regain control of their own jungle.
They should be able to get Baron. G2, that is. Humanoids over here taking jungle farm away from Fnatic, getting vision. Probably looking for the... He probably got the blue buff, I guess. Yeah.
25 kills, 25 minutes, constant skirmishing back and forth between the two teams.
Noah got... No, Resort got it. I was going to say, I thought Noah got the blue buff. It might have been better over on Noah. And not on Resort.
That major goal lead is on Noah. If Noah can't perform in the fight, G2 can look to...
So again, you want 260 CS at this point. Caps is almost there. Humanoid is over it. Ezreal's almost there. Everybody else is behind.
This Corki is really scary, man. Like I look at... if I'm in the game, I press tab, I look at the items, I'm like... And then I remember that his Caps on the champion as well.
It's pretty ridiculous what Caps has done on Corki this weekend.
But this game could very easily turn on a knife's edge.
But then again, Chovy's pretty ridiculous on Corki as well.
definitely a stronger engage tool, but Zyra probably a stronger.
Both supports have their Warmogs.
Have a little bit more range, but both compositions
So I don't know. I would be going for Baron.
These fights are going to come down to the execution and how they will set up around these objectives. We see a lot of little wards littered around G2's jungle as they've been clearing out the Fnatic vision. But it's Fnatic who has first access to the Baron River for now.
I do think G2 have some non-committal range with Hansama. They can use non-committal engage. They can use with Hansama having that curtain call.
Humanoid's pushing the bottom lane.
No one on Fnatic apart from Jun is really tanky enough to try and absorb.
His teleport is up.
Fnatic are doing at the moment, which is just try and play out through
Oscar and Caps are about to have their teleports up, so Oscar won't have his flash.
It looks like they are going to send Caps, but know that he
So Caps gets sit here and he'll have his teleport up soon. Zyra should be able to go right in here and take the Baron pretty quickly. Not alone, but I mean like a 3-man squad like this should be able to easily go take and just burn the Baron down real quick. Like I don't like Fnatic is hesitating here, or they could have taken that from G2.
G2 could potentially gain access into the mid wave, put Fnatic into an uncomfortable position. So starting Baron does of course come with its own risks. But in a game like this, where ultimately it comes down to execution, you're always looking for those small advantages. And I know both teams playing very respectfully, playing very cautiously, vision being cleansed on either side. But it's G2 now that have control around the Baron.
It's also like there's just so much.
Come on, G2, just go for the Baron.
Right? Like if Fnatic started up, Call of the Forge God, he's even got a nice little runway paid for him by the Baron to hit it.
I guess they can't win the team fight, to be honest, because it's just the item differences. You know, you're sitting on 56k gold and 3 dragons, so it's gonna take some outplaying a G2 catching somebody out, outsmarting them, which is what just happened here. Caps just comes in. At least he had flash up. Okay, so that helped Caps right there where he got caught in the Zyra ultimate. And Yikes damage is going to be down because he took the Banshee's Veil. Here comes Caps back in. Just really kind of ugly play. Like once they play like this against LCK, LPL teams, are gonna get knocked out. You know, that's again why I read the statement for Roman saying they're gonna clean things up. They're exhausted. That they're saying why they had a poor performance here. Like, see, I'm not the typical fan. I'm coaching. I want to get another coaching gig. Like working with G2 would be a dream, or like a Fnatic. And again, I told you I got into this because of Mac, and he got busy, and then I just stopped talking to him, and I got the work with GAM, so I committed to that because I was actually like trying to do stuff for Mac where he had all this crazy process for gives you like exams and trying to show that you're smart at League of Legends, and I think a lot of that's nonsense. And I think I like straight up told him that, so he didn't like my attitude, that I didn't bow down to him and worship him because he was a coach that won the LEC. Because I mean, I'm older, like I don't see the scene like you kids do. I'm telling you, I could coach on a team and bring a lot of value to an org, but most of you won't listen to me because you think that somebody is an unknown, is a nobody. You know, I told you my story is my dad got cancer and I had to put my life on pause. So I didn't get to sit and stream and play the game every day, and that's where I got into the coaching stuff. I couldn't have a computer sitting on the bedside beside my dad in the hospital day in and day out for months on end. So I sat there and watched VODs and learned coaching stuff. But then you try telling people this and they don't want to listen. Like, I think I have a lot more knowledge than most than some in the scene, even because I've just been watching it longer. I've just not been given the opportunity that you have to prove myself, because I haven't went to the correct outlets, I guess. But like, you try reaching to a coach and it's like they put you down because they're afraid you're going to try to take their job, or they just have really bad attitudes. Or I've just not met too very many nice people in the scene. I think most of them are full of BS, and they got lucky to get the job they have, and they're afraid to lose it, so they won't help anyone. And I want to like help others. I give back. I don't take. I try to give back more than I take. I don't even try to take that much. Like, I try to offer a team, like, I'll work for you for free. Now maybe Riot won't allow that. I don't know. I gave Gam a lot. I was basically just going to get a jersey in return. And there's a lot of people that go and work for teams and don't get paid. That's how you get your foot in the door. And I've got the credit. You can go look. Like, I worked with Gam. But the owner was like such either a jerk or a liar or just too many things going on. And I can go and show you on Twitter where he said he sent it to me and I gave him my address. Never got it. So that tells you the type of owner he is. That's why I don't like want really anything to do with Gam. But I don't mind telling people I worked with Gam, because I did. I did way more than I was asked of. I gave my opinions on a lot more. Like,
And that's where I think in those kind of situations, Hans Hammer can do so much with the curtain call, just forcing Fnatic off of
it's
their
easy to
turret,
get
forcing away from the inhibitor. So, like, you can't walk up because if a slow hits, there's just so much follow-up from
you start getting overexcited about like a dream job like that, and it doesn't feel like work, and you're like fine working for 20 hours at a time because you just have or at least I am, because I have that much passion for this game. I'm telling you, I've put in so much time watching all of this, studying all of this, watching all the matches since end of 2012. Minus LCS, it was just a waste of time for me. Like, I watched it back in 2013. I watched it for a few years, but then I realized I'm wasting my time, so I watched the LCK over all of it in the LPL. I mean, wake up every day from the time you get up watching pro matches till the time you go to bed. Every day with no kids, no job. I don't know, like, the people in the scene have kids. It's like, how did you know more if I've spent more time to begin with? It doesn't make any sense to me. So, like, I know the scene is rigged, and it's more about knowing people. So I got off track here on this game of the analysis stuff.
And that might be it for Fnatic. G2 are tearing through the base. Fnatic once more. They look like they had it. But
So to give a recap, because I went on a rant, like, oh,
He manages to survive. Getting onto the back line, and there goes Humanoid. Is looking to make it two, but Noah in the arc.
but it's like you try to tell people constantly and they won't listen when you probably know more than they do, and they won't listen to you, and then they put you down. Like, it's such a hard scene to break into or get into.
He just gets
Bounce. So the Blaze passive conjugation is the E.
No, I know,
Yeah, I think that just bounces to him right at the last moment, which is what kills him off. But very close there for Noah. Solar Flare going down. Solar just gets chunked. The Stranglethorns have been used. Mickey trying to retreat, but already Caps is down. A huge shutdown for Humanoid as G2 have to retreat. Wiki will heal up in a second. Instead, he's just going to go back to base.
I mean,
So that basically shoves G2 off this Baron. What it looked like was G2 got the Baron and finished the game out. So I was ranting. I apologize. I wasn't giving you the in-depth analysis you expect. I know I'm fully capable of. The Jhin ultimate's going to do a lot here and disengage Fnatic. I think Fnatic forgot about the Jhin ultimate. Basically is what happened. And then G2 just slowly pick off Fnatic one by one. So G2 get the Baron, shove the waves out.
Just as he went for the auto attack, and now G2 with Baron setting up push on top, already having that wave.
Zork's flash is down, Humanoid's flash is
I
down.
don't think Fnatic can really defend this.
G2's like straight up just 5-manning squad here. And taking advantage of the Baron buff like you want to. You want to use the Baron buff to break into the enemy base. Really good at getting these inhibitors. You need the extra buff on the canyons and you need the extra HP that the canyon. You need the extra HP buff that the Baron buff allows you on the canyon minions and the minions. I don't think there was really much more. So Dragon in a minute, looks like. At this point, the game's G2's finally ahead after they get all the gold and the Baron fight.
It's got to be so frustrating for Fnatic
So
fans.
3 items and then another.
Making so many good moves in the early game.
We'll just make that 3 items. 3 items and a Seeker's Arm Guard for engage or disengage. Broken Blade's making a teleport here. These are the things like players, anyone even Bronze and Iron can get is like the 30 minutes and 40 minutes of the game. It's the first 20 minutes. And the Gen seems to be doing a lot of work later on in this game to engage and disengage for Fnatic, and there's nothing they can do to get to the back line to stop Gen. I don't know why you don't ban Corki from Caps. Like, after watching what he did into BDS and then these games, I would say if I was drafting against G2, I would ban Corki. So that's game number 2. I like when I get the end game stat that I get in the LCK, and I guess I don't get them in the LEC. So what happened? Game 3. Well, this is the portion where I take my break and AFK for a minute and shut up. And we'll do game number 3.
And I believe,
which is good because I'll have to get dressed and get ready to go to my appointment. Looks like I got a beard already. I mean, I already shaved like right before I did this stream, and I might as well just grow my beard. I mean, I shaved before I did the stream. I got a mustache and beard already. Manly. Stop and not cut off my mic. I don't know. But here we go into game number 3.
Adaptation could be, minimize the AD carries. Like if you take Corki away, take away the whole AD carry handshake, and get some kind of. Because of that, you force the Azir to be higher pro.
So G2 just won the first 2 games, and G2 again are on the red side.
I'm hearing you. They're gonna start off in the same way.
I mean, I would say if I was Fnatic, I would ban Corki, because then it allows you to play.
I would ban Corki as well. I don't get that.
8 games, has played like 6 games of Corki. I feel like Corki is his new Tristana. And I wouldn't be surprised if Fnatic, okay, I guess they
adaptation
they
at
do
all
the
from
same,
their game 2
but
draft.
I don't think they will first, because unless they think that they just grief mid-game, and that they thought they should just win, which is kind of the case, to be fair. I think if they play better, they would just win.
So you're saying they should triple down, because that's...
If I was Fnatic, I would not, but if they believe it's their best chances, then that's what they would probably do.
Well, first step complete.
Ezreal for Noah.
Ezreal for Noah. Now, I think the best answers into Ezreal personally are stuff like the Kai'Sa, but we've seen Hansam have a lot of affinity towards the Jhin as well to neutralize down bot side, even if you get a strong matchup with the Ezreal.
Okay, so Fnatic first pick the Ezreal,
Wouldn't be surprised to see him run it back with the Jhin. I feel like that's his crutch recently.
which has a 10 win and 15 loss record in the LEC on this patch. And so G2 take the Zyro away from Resort and take the Corki. I would have taken the Corki first if I was Fnatic, or ban the Corki. You'd probably have to ban Tristana and Corki. And Fnatic take the Brand and the Lucian. Not too much to look at the stats or anything on this. I'd like to see Broken Blade play the Rumble, like I said. I don't know why Fnatic take the Sejuani away. I guess they're afraid for the team fight power.
Fnatic in the last 2 games because he played twice strengthened. I think Oscar would probably blind pick Cassante or Ornn.
And it looks like they're gonna ban like the Rel Braum again, so maybe those are Yun's best champions. I don't know that much about Yun, so I can't tell you.
Match history, okay? He has been liking the Smolder top lane a little bit alongside some other ranged top laners. I hope they don't run it back and they just do tank for tank.
Yeah, I think Smolder is actually pretty good into low engage, and here like Fnatic doesn't have engage yet, depending on their support pick, right?
So this time Fnatic banned the Jhin, which probably a good choice because they looks like they got caught up in some engages or disengages later on in the last game that turned the team fights where they forgot about Jin's ultimate.
I'm really surprised into the Ezreal, we just haven't really seen it too much.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's left. I mean, Varus is still left.
They do ban the Rel and the Braum. Now again, I don't. It must be something about Yun that those are some of his best champions. Maybe the Leona would be a better ban here. I don't know why they leave the Leona up. I guess maybe they're trying to practice into Ezreal Leona because they know that they're going to see that against the LCK teams and the LPL teams.
G2 could do
So
Senna lane as well if they play Senna. I'm not sure if they're familiar with it or not, because it seems like it's more like team fighting comps anyways, and I think Senna is great for that. And also if you get a counter pick top, then you can lock in Senna Nautilus that can just chill on the bot lane. Let's see what they will pick here.
It's become a bit different with the Senna lane just because it's suddenly Hans to
and Draven, which I just saw Draven mid last weekend from Chovy. We get the Kai'Sa, which is a counter into Ezreal.
Honestly, I don't think it's the greatest spot for it right here. So
no, I don't care.
That's perfectly
This says Ezreal wins against Kai'Sa.
Again.
And then maybe Ken. Is it an insta-lock?
No, it's
it's
this must be Ornn again.
Hey, we've got the same kind of. So what does that spell for us?
I think G2 is gonna win this game again, because I feel like if last game
Ezreal wins against Kai'Sa 55% of the time. I think that's like because of the Void Grubs again. Let me look at op.gg. I thought she was supposed to be a counter into Ezreal. But again, the Void Grubs change a lot because it allows you to play into bad matchups, and so it skews the stats. It says Ezreal's strong against Kai'Sa, so G2's taking weak picks into Fnatic.
I think that Fnatic, though, they have 3 lanes of push in the early game, and I really feel like they can. But just take objectively, right? Objectively, no emotions attached. I think Fnatic have all the tools to take over the early game at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, I think G2's read is that Fnatic cannot snowball games.
Yeah.
And that's why they cannot just pick scaling. I mean, they have Ornn, Corki, Kai'Sa. And I think they're the right of doing so, because 2 games they just scale and they win.
They need to get the games with this.
Okay, so get into the game here.
Today, Fnatic seems
to be impartial.
2 down after having 2 exceptional early games against G2.
And as a commentator, our responsibility is to be impartial, to just state the fact.
I'm sure Yun will have the again, Noah has the barrier, or I don't know, maybe the cleanse would have been better last game. Might need the cleanse into the Zyra ultimate and Nautilus ultimate and Horn ultimate.
Because Fnatic have been in winning positions, and I think Niski made a great summary at the end.
And so this time you got the 2 trinket wards in the bottom lanes. So much safer laning phases for the bottom lanes this time. I don't think they'll dive like the last game. I think that's kind of what caused the diving the last game, is the Ezreal, Leona, and Sweeper lens. And let's see, Fnatic got a level 2 advantage over the bottom lane last game, and it kind of snowballed.
But the man has not been able to pick up a title because G2 at the moment have just stood in his way every step of the way.
So Fnatic get a ward up here in G2's jungle at the Raptor pit. That must be Humanoid's ward.
Arguably the best LEC player to have never won a championship, to have never won a title.
But these 2 bottom lanes should be able to play much safer now because they got the double trinket wards.
Of course. But it's a great conversation, right? Because
or play more aggressive, I would say, because you can you know, put like a ward here and you're safe, and from your support or AD, and then keep one of the wards for the brushes back here. So the first thing, same thing happens here like the last game. So yeah, the barrier helped that trade. Like the same thing that we saw last game. Void Grubs at 6 minutes, Dragon at 5 minutes. So planning for that. And because of that trade and win there, that allows Yun to come up here and apply some pressure to Caps, because I guess he didn't recall, and so Noah backed and got some item advantage with his gold lead.
But Mickey and Hansama are kind of into like, you go Titan's Wrath burst for the shield, it gets worn down. They can just flash on you, and then Hansama's like, oh, maybe I can kill off Noah, but just doesn't anticipate him using one of his summoner spells.
So maybe like Hansama.
The attack is in these early stages for Ezreal. You can proc it incredibly quickly because of your Qs, and then just being able to run through based off your auto attacks and that. But G2, a lot of
Forgot the barrier in this trade. I guess that's not... I need a better picture. So I don't know. This is how the Asian, or at least the VCS teams operate. Like this way, I don't know. I would like to work with a Western team. That's what I'm trying to do here. So Yike, Mickey X. I was gonna say, where's Noah? I see Resort. I guess Noah's bottom. So Humanoid's over this line here. He may be a goner. No. I didn't think they would get him. He was too far on the line there. He was actually where... He was over the line, and he had flash, but he had enough room to get away from Mickey X and Yike. Meaning if Mickey X and Yike were on, if they were up here, they would have got Humanoid.
Mickey has flash here, might try and flash hook to burn Humanoids. Instead, they're just looking for the push. Humanoid forced away. Jun still waiting.
I'm getting better at the telestrator, so I get some of my problems. I don't know how to relay the information in my head with you users that are watching, so that's something that's really taken me a lot of time to work and figure out.
Very much dictated by how many players there are around them. As we see Mickey getting caught out with a shield of daybreak. Caps goes in, kills off Humanoid, another stun. As we see for sure what to do. Just put everyone in the mid lane and see what happens. Early game.
Okay, Resork's on Brand this time, which stuns, does a lot of early damage. So Mickey just gets caught.
And see what happens. Early games for Caps and Humanoid have been.
Maybe Mickey was trying to protect Yike right here was what's going on. He had to protect Yike. So he turns on Yun here. Yun doesn't have his ignite. I think that's what happened. Actually, Mickey X did a Yike a favor and saved his life right here.
Just put everyone in the mid lane and see what happens. Early games for. Caps and Humanoid making his way up mid as well. Look, guys, if you're not sure what to do, just put everyone in the mid lane and see what happens. Early games for Caps and have been very much.
So I think Mickey X saved Yike's life right here, but lost his life. But Caps at least got Humanoid.
He'll flash the wall. Yike might flash to chase, decides against it. Razok's still there. Cooldown's coming back up. Pillar of Flame connects. The Seer does too.
Yike seems kind of young, so I feel like maybe he gets a little fast, or I listen to interviews to him and he's like talking really fast, where maybe we gotta calm Yike down a little bit, slow him down a little bit. That might be some of what goes on between Mickey X and Caps because they're older. So Yike should be going up and going for Void Grubs, the way he's setting up. Would rather get the Dragon and then get the Void Grubs. That's what I'd like to see G2 do or work on while they're prepping for Worlds. Get the Dragon at 5 minutes, get the Void Grubs at 6, get the next Dragon at 10, you get the next set of Void Grubs at 12, then get the Rift Herald, get the Dragons in between, get the Baron, close it out. I feel like that's what the jungler and support's jobs mainly are. So Yike's flash is down, Caps' teleport is down, Hansama's flash is down, Humanoid's flash and teleport are down, Oscared's teleport is down, and Noah's flash is down. Also, to take a note, Noah has barrier in this game. I would think he needs cleanse later on in team fights. And Yike didn't go for Void Grubs. I feel like they're wasting time here. Getting takedowns is not as important as getting the other objectives off the map. So hopefully they get the Dragon. See, he should have just got the Void Grubs and then maybe had time to come down and get the Dragon afterwards, or vice versa.
Look at this bot lane from G2 now. 0 and 5 collectively. Noah has secured 3 of the team's 6 kills.
So let me go back. See. Why not? I should be doing this in slides, I guess. Why not prep a take dragon?
You say Cap's still having flash and a red buff.
I should have done this on the last game, but forgot. There's just so much team fighting going on.
But that's the thing, with you opting in for Zero Cull and having that phase for Caps, it changes the dynamic of mid lane where now Caps gets a ton of push there. So if Hansam and Mickey can get pushed,
They now G2 don't have any vision down here. They need some warding. They got the trinket wards.
But now Noah and Jun can open up. Yike has to run. Uses the water walking through the river to escape.
Fnatic forcing plays on the bot side of the map. Ends up getting them another few kills. Look at this bot lane from G2 now. 0 and 5 collectively.
Broken Blade's teleport is down. Oscaron's teleport is down. Resork's flash is down. Yike's teleport is down. I mean, flash is down. So they're finally, Caps is helping.
Naturally, Razork is going to make his way towards top. He has the pressure from the Renekton as well that he can play off of to be able to secure the grubs if he so pleases.
So they do get the dragon at see a minute.
A hyper-aggressive early game. Noah really being set up for success once again. I will say that some of the plays from Noah in the previous game.
So they give over the Void Grubs for the dragon here, which is also gonna just you know, Renekton's already beating Ornn almost double the CS with 2 Void Grubs, or 3, or did they miss one? But I mean without the Void Grubs, so now this is really going to make this a tough top lane. So I think sheets would be better for this. So the next time I do it, I'll just do them on sheets.
Sets his sights on the top lane.
This is better for scrim data stuff.
Yeah, his attempt at surviving did not go too successfully.
I didn't see if he used his Bellows Breath just before that, but wasn't able to stop any of that CC coming through. Now hook from Mickey mid.
I think we just got some random fights going here. Now the only difference I see is Humanoid doesn't have flash and Caps does. And at this point, I'm sure Lucian's ult adds more than what Corki's ult adds till you get like 2 items. But Caps' Corki was unreal. I would think you'd ban Corki.
Caps really loves playing on the edge. The number of times that he just chooses not to flash is always exciting to watch, but in this instance, it's just a kill on the top side for Fnatic. Razork really having so much impact on the map. The bot side of G2 forced to constantly play defensively. Now Mickey has to be careful.
Thing is,
wait, no, he
gets there. Yeah, Noah has no
So you want 100 CS at 10 minutes.
In the end, Noah will get one. Hansama's holding the killer instinct here. Noah still has the barrier. There's the killer instinct barrier exchange. Hansama flashes the mystic shot. Oh my god!
I think Hansama did a good job with the barrier there and the trading. And Noah was on 4 items. I mean 4 takedowns there. Like he's probably really close to Trinity Force. So that was pretty good outplay from Hansama there. Took his flash.
The comps are the same, the
So
action is the same, and Fnatic find
Dragon in 3 minutes. I would say around like 2-minute time, 1 minute 30 seconds, you need to start going down here and prepping out any vision around the dragon pit. So you're prepped and ready for when the dragon spawns to take. Noah got caught in the Zyra ult.
Caps has the flash. Caps will Valkyrie out for now. There's the culling. It's into his back, down to about 300 HP. Humanoid could look for more.
Combo would kill him if you get the E into short E into the Q, but when it back away is. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, full brittle, full brittle.
Nice bit of on tech there. Broken Blade.
So, but you can see Ornn is pretty far behind. Zyra and Brand are doing okay. They can get up to the 100 CS as well.
It did help that they got the kill onto Broken Blade, of course.
Yeah,
worth highlighting.
tends to switch things up a little bit.
This just goes to show how devastating the early matchup can be. Of course, things will swing into a more neutral state as we get later into the game, where neither top laner will really be able to kill one another.
Oh, I messed that up. I didn't have Epic Pen at the time when I did the slides back in the day. All right.
But Oscar doing a good job.
Just a reminder, following the Summer Split Finals, the LEC is back for our 4-week season finals event, ending with our grand finals in Munich. Join us in Berlin.
So Yikes up here helping Broken Blade. It's looking like where I would rather see him down here. But Yikes up here, like, I don't think you're gonna, unless he's gonna help Broken Blade here recall and go back. Looks like Void Grubs, it says, are up in 1 minute and 30 seconds.
For weeks 1 to 3 with tickets available at lec.gg/tickets or the Munich Grand Final tickets at lec.gg/Munich is Oscar winning. Okay, Razork flashing forward. Thank you guys. I needed some action because I sped up because I thought action was going to happen. So I'm glad Razork decided to flash forward. Broken Blade has a flash of his own.
Yike uses his flash. Broken Blade's flash is down. They kind of need that for this dragon fight bottom.
Razork just barely able to connect with the ultimate there meant that as BB dashed away, he brought the ult onto Yike, so that Q then gets the stun, sets up beautifully then for the rest of Fnatic to follow.
So hopefully Ike comes down here and goes for the dragon. They've got the vision around the pit that was needed. Looks like Yun just cleared a bunch of vision out, but
He tries to triage that. You've got.
We're back.
because it looks like he's going for void grubs. But why not prep and plan for dragon? I think they're worrying about the top lane though, because the Void Grubs and the Oscarin matchup and Broken Blade's getting really far behind. So I think that's Yikes trying to help Broken Blade here and worrying about the Void Grubs here.
Okay, our producer just told me to switch the caster headset 4. It's not plugged in. So I'm just going to stick on this one and hold these in my hands for now.
We are setting up for Dragon, spawning in about 20 seconds. You can see that Fnatic is already laying down some vision as G2 is looking to do the same.
Like what I'm saying is I think like Yike went and got a camp or something right there, but like, maybe he should just straight up went right on down here.
He's died 5 times already. Then he wants the 6th to add to it. The Titan's Wrath shield enough to keep him alive. And now Hansama takes a chunk across the wall as well. As G2 look to step in.
At least G2 have the Scuttle Crab to claim the vision on the Dragon Pit. And I don't know why, who's recalling? Mickey X? Mickey X gets caught out, so they won't take the Dragon.
This is kind of where Fnatic, at least if they can continue this pressure, they're in a good spot. But again, we've seen this, but this is significant.
Like Mickey X. Whatever.
Titan's Wrath shield enough to keep him alive. And now Hansama takes a chunk across the wall as well. As G2 looked to step in here, but didn't really do any damage to Fnatic. So Fnatic will start up their first Dragon of the game.
So getting plates from bot side for No as well, and getting nice chunk onto Hansama there to boot. But I think this is kind of where Fnatic, at least if they can continue this pressure, they're in good
Looked
spot.
like Mickey X was kind of hanging out in base there, trying to figure out where to go.
Last time it was 5k at about 18 minutes, now 5k at 12 minutes, so you're in a, or well, 4k now, but you're in a very good position to try and follow up, to keep pressure on towards Void Grubs, start putting pressure on towards his bottom side off of the Triforce, being able to take chunks out of that turret on the bottom side, as now TP from Caps.
So Caps is going to teleport in behind.
Oscar in needs to try and get underneath the tower, should be able to do so.
And Yike was on his way there as well. Here comes a humanoid teleport as well. So, oh, Caps went really aggressive.
Now Broken Blade is overextended. Humanoid.
Just kills him, right? Broken Blade under the tower with the culling. Can't get away. 12-4 now for Fnatic.
And so at the same time, Zork's down here getting the Void Grubs, which is just really going to accelerate this top lane matchup even more.
They've gotten a Drake as well. They punished the aggression. The bot tower is up for grabs. Noah's going to move over to mids. This is an even better snowball than what we saw from Fnatic in the previous game. Their lead is only going to continue to build. As
Again, I talk about the Eclipse. I think on this patch, it looked like the Eclipse and the Executioner's calling was, or Black, not Executioner's calling, Black Cleaver was better I don't know what Fnatic's doing right here. Yike looks like he's just bait. Yun gets caught in the Zyra ult. So Fnatic just get caught in a fight that they don't really want to be in, but there's nothing else they can do.
Might try and take the play. He's trying to take every single one before Noah stacking up the arcane shift off the Krugs with that Mystic shot, jumps back forward, Mystic misses.
Fun little fight there.
Oscarinin was chasing Broken Blade to deny him any sort of teleport up here because Oscarinin didn't have his. So nice job by Oscarinin to allow Fnatic.
So the power spikes, itemization. Warren doesn't have an item yet. Renekton has Black Cleaver. Like this is, it's like 4K gold. Now Ornn, I've always said, makes up for like 10K by 30-40 minutes with the items. The ornamentations, they're called, the item upgrades.
Then you think, oh, well, Noah's arrived. Now it's even numbers, and the health advantage is in Fnatic's favor, so he should be able to clean up. But Corki's on his way as well. So Razok ends up in a...
Off the back of that, but Rift...
So Dragon up in 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and the Rift Herald is up.
Teams want to try and face off for us.
The thing for Fnatic, for G2 though is you got a 2 for 2 and you got a bounty. Right? In the end, that's actually kind of worth for you. You're already losing so much on the map. You're 7,000 gold behind at 15 minutes.
Broken Blade gets his Warmogs, but at the same time, Oscarn gets his Sterix Gauge, so he's on 2 items.
Honestly, I think with the goal lead they have, I don't agree with slowing the game down. I think that you just keep attacking. Like when you really just hit them with your wallet at this point in the game, right? And as long as you're not...
And so Noah's on his 2 items already as well.
Forget the towers exist.
Like they just did. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just a tiny
I think the other caveat is you do have to be careful of TPs because Broken Blade still has his. So if you try and overforce something, Broken Blade to come into the play. If you try and stay around,
So Noah and Oscarn getting very far ahead. You should be at 150 CS. So Oscarn's there, Noah's there. Caps is a little bit behind. Onsama's a little bit behind. Zyra's hanging in there and close. And Broken Blade is like 60 CS behind. See Yike down here, soloing this Rift Herald, or trying. He just got dove. His flash was down. And at this point, it's really looking like G2's not going to win. I mean, it's 35k gold and 28k gold.
It's more blood for the blood god. Violence across the map in the top side. It's Fnatic finding a skirmish. It's not over. Surely.
Oh, did I max out? I guess I can only do... Okay.
G2 don't have the damage here.
Caps has TP. He's up in 15 seconds.
I'll do it in sheets next time, or slides next time. It's probably better for what I'm trying to do. So now the Cloud Drake is up. Oh, Hansama made a play there.
Ultimate from Hansama is able to get the collapse down, trades back for 2. And the Herald doesn't really do much towards the tower as well. Meanwhile, all this chaos is happening on the top side of the map. To reassess, Fnatic still in the...
You could have just looked for the...
But, okay.
Pick onto Yike, who had no flash.
G2 just let Fnatic have this dragon, which is worrying. Again, they can't do this against the top LCK teams, the LPL teams.
Mistakes that are giving bits of bobs of gold here and there. But even on the top side play, like BB teleporting in with half HP was just bizarre.
Yeah, man.
As Betty says, blood for the blood god, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe G2's playing in their sleep. I don't know. I'm streaming in my sleep half the time, so I understand.
Oh, Mickey, I'm sure he has been
2 items.
taking the nautical theme of Nautilus a little bit too far this game.
2 items. Again, Baron, 20 minutes. You got to have the 2 items. You want to try to get the Baron at 20 minutes, but you also got to get the 2 items on your carries or your laners.
G2 will have to find some good fights if they want to turn this game around.
Name's Baines. John Baines.
all right. Stop it now.
Other than that, you're just trying to get the T1 turrets down, which we're not even at yet.
We're keeping our eyes on him to see whether or not he can pull one off in this game. Because G2 definitely on the back foot. They're cautious to even walk through their own side of the jungle. You can see the sweepers coming through. It's Fnatic that continue to be in the driver's seat. Oscar a little overextended on the top side, but he is respecting that. You can see resets now coming through from Noah. Curious as to what he'll pick up. What does he have enough gold for?
Zork's on his 2 items.
The biggest mistake I noticed from Fnatic
Zork's flash is down. Again, that's how you make plays. You try to catch players out that don't have... You got to keep track of their timings, and it's a lot of work. But then if you catch them out, there's nothing they can do. They're going to get taken down because they won't have the flash or whatever, like cleanse to get away. So here comes Broken Blade Humanoid teleporting in behind. His flash is down. Oscaron's teleport is up. Broken Blade's teleport is still down, so he can't join this party mid lane.
Right, so perhaps a bit of an overcommitment. Did Humanoid need to invest the TP? That's debatable. But you kind of look at the wave states, and he doesn't really want to overextend on the bot side of the map. What Fnatic could do is push this wave in mid and then transition their vision towards bot side to allow him to push out that wave, but instead they're really
The Baron's up now.
Oh, sorry. This is the collapse, though. Look at where BB is on the map. Because you end up overforcing on the mid wave, BB's able to push out on that top side. And now able to move into
So we got a ancient golem fight here, and it looks like G2's not going to be able to do anything. Caps, really, we're waiting on Caps to get his 2 items on Corki, which he's behind. So G2's just waiting on Caps. That's all that's really going on right here.
Let's see if they can secure the tower this time around.
Mickey just short on the hook there. The tower should fall to Fnatic, as you say. They get it. Finally
Needs that man immune.
They have 3 turrets to nil in their favor.
You know, which Noah already has, plus a Caulfield's hammer.
4.5 of that sitting on Oscar in the top lane, who's just being matched
So,
by a tank currently.
Caps is still pretty far behind.
I'm not sure G2 really have the damage to be able to shred through this.
So until then, I don't think. And then Zyra's also on the Banshee's Veil again, or Yike. So he's not going to have really the damage for like the Baron right now. So we're just waiting on the farm and the time. He should be at about a 210 CS right now.
That's an insurmountable goal.
So Oscaron's there, but Broken Blade's behind. Caps is behind. Hansama is behind. Fnatic's laners are there. They should be able to take Baron, really.
Let's see, mid control once again.
I think the problem the Fnatic are having, though, is that they're overcommitting members to mid. Like, Humanoid TP's in mid, now Humanoid was mid.
They've even got Leona on Warmogs, so now's the time if you're Fnatic to get the Baron.
Pressure on the map for G2. So even though Fnatic are moving into this, you're able to always catch the waves as G2. Look at Broken Blade. He's got no pressure top side. They're going to be able to now push out that wave top and shift Yike down.
Solo flag going in as well. They're just looking to jump.
Caps is just deleted.
Jonah underneath the tower, locked up. Depth charge going to come out, but he flashes away, so no longer has that turret aggro. Another kill, 2 Fnatic and a tier 2 to boot.
All right, but you just catch Caps, it doesn't really matter. So Fnatic able to make that pick work, and now
So until Caps gets this second item, there's not much G2's gonna do. They're catching some people out. You know, Han Sama's on his 2 items.
Could this be a Baron? The pings are coming down. G2 seem
Go for, they should have went for Dragon. They just wasted like 20 seconds where
I do not think this will be as easy as G2 think.
I just think at this point go for Dragon. You wasted time posturing back and forth. You gotta just make like instant decisions because you're gonna burn the Dragon down. Ah.
But they're going to commit towards it. Of course, there is still a very fed Renekton on the side of Fnatic. I do not think this will
So
be...
Caps is teleporting in. So I think G2 could take the Baron here, but they could have got the Dragon. There was that split-second decision here. No, that's not where I want that. Why? Tell you what, I'll do it this way. Oh, am I out? I think I'm out of rows is what it is. Split second flag on the scene. Cost Dragon. All right.
Small window and G2.
So G2 get the Dragon. Or I mean, G2 get the Baron and Fnatic get the Dragon.
But it hasn't all been about him. It's been more about Caps. Han Summer here in prime position to step up. I mean,
Finally, Caps is on his Mana Mune that's Ornn augmented.
But so this play is obviously a great initial pick from Fnatic. Now the goal after this is you convert the tower.
We saw that. That's just for selling skins.
And the real mistake was from Razork thinking that he could get a bunch of chunk damage down initially because it's Mickey that ends up
I'm just joking.
that, and they find that
If you
kill
get
on the tempo
offended.
as well, so then there's very little counterplay that Fnatic can make.
But Caps finally gets his Mana Mune that's Ornn augmented. Again, you should be at 250 CS, so Caps is behind. Humanoid's where you should be. Oscarin's where you should be. He's accelerated by the Void Grubs, so don't think that Broken Blade's bad. Behind, and he's behind. Yeah, he's got 8 takedowns and all that, and on 3 items, but he's still behind on the CS.
Even though they still had Renekton, Brand, and the Lucian all alive, which...
That's where some of the Western players fall off. They like highly value the item and think that it changes your game, but Still got to worry about the CS because there's XP that you're gaining off every little bit, so it adds up to a level higher or like half a level, and then in a team fight you might take somebody down and get the level, so it makes all the difference. You can't waste the CS. It's where all the gold and XP comes from. You have to evenly distribute it across all your laners. You don't want to let any wave go to waste. You try. There's a perfect game of 100 CS at 10 minutes, 20, 200 at 20. So that's just some picking off right there. Like Fnatic being just not on the same page. Humanoid's got his teleport up. Noah doesn't have teleport in this game. Sometimes Ezreal takes teleport. So they've got the Baron buff, G2, so you're in a better diving territory when you got the Baron buff to help protect you to make a play like this. So Humanoid's teleporting in. Oscarin gets Zyra ulted, which keeps Yun away. Razork and Noah are behind. So there was some lag there on Fnatic's decision making as well, where they were behind and G2 force pressure or force the issue, force a team fight. A lot of this game is momentum swing, and G2 might be able to close this game out, where it was looking like Fnatic were running away. I don't know what Razork is doing. He's gonna say he might want to defend his base. He was going to the red buff. I think players worry about those buffs sometimes more than what they're worth or value.
Remember, that 2k gold lead that Noah had is gone. The itemization is now in Hans Sama's favor. The gold swing.
The buffs are important, but they're not game changing.
Of course, they're still at a deficit, but a lot of that deficit is just sitting on the Ornn.
Game changing is I see teams lose a game lose a game because of like an important play, like I did on DK, where DK took a game away from Gen G just because Canyon was too busy taking his own blue buff, and then Lucid was a like pawn or apprentice underneath Canyon, and he was on Lee Sin, so he knew he could skip his blue buff, and he was on Lee Sin. Canyon was on Nidalee, so he knew in the rotation that Canyon would ultimately take the blue buff before he ganked or did anything, so he skipped his on Lee Sin and made a big play bottom, and it eventually helped snowball the game, and DK beat Gen G, the unbeatable team. So even like what some consider the best jungler in the world, like there's flaws. Teams, players, junglers especially seem to overvalue the buffs at times. So Mickey X is going to get caught. But the Lucian ult didn't really do too much there.
A bit isolated from the rest of his team, but look at the Void Seekers, just needs another to land here. Caps comes in, Noah dashes across with the arcane shift across the wall, still has the flash, but with the call of the Fortune coming down.
Hansama's just free to dive right on into the back line of Fnatic here. And he's got a Seeker's Arm Guard. I didn't look at that. Fnatic, I guess, didn't look either. Looks like Caps is going to teleport into Fnatic's base here, or Ornn is. I guess I guess Caps is going to recall, get some items, and then teleport back in. So I think this game's over. So that might have been a game-changing moment there. I've seen Gumayushi do that a lot too. The Seeker's Arm Guard. Again, maybe if Yike took the Zanyas, would have been some better plays and stuff, but I don't know. So that's today's episode of the Sodaron stream, or the next level with Sodaron, the LEC Summer 2024 Grand Finals between Fnatic and G2, where G2 won 3-0 against Fnatic. For Noah.
Disappears in moments, and G2 are once again champions, back to back throughout this year.
Now, a few final words from you, perhaps, Yike, about the final.
So that's it for today's episode. The next one should be.
Fnatic looked strong, but I think we felt good today. I think we played very good, much better than before. And thanks to all the fans. I'm so happy for you cheering for us all the time. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Guys, so much. Congratulations once again for locking in the world spot as well. We're gonna throw it over to PGL.
Thank you so much, Georgia. Wonderful interview. I think Caps had a lot.
So that's it for today, everybody. I will see you next time. Hopefully the next one's BDS versus G2. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow or the next day. There's LCK's game still going, so I may take a couple days off. I don't know yet. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Please like my YouTube VODs. I really appreciate likes, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's in my Twitch. It's at youtube.com/@Sodaron5828. Or please follow me on Twitch. I'm trying to reach a goal of 50 followers. I'm almost there. So if you could tell your friends to follow me at Twitch, I'll return the favor. Thank you.
Mostly hard. I don't